Okay, so we are live. We decided to go a little bit early. Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. Glad to have Ian, the Mega Geek, and Justin Whitlock with us today. We'll have others popping in. I've already put the link to the chat in the chat. If you want to join, just make sure you got headphones. So, how are you guys?
Right, I'm fine. I don't know. I'm okay.
Well, not much to do since I streamed with you. I haven't seen Justin since the get together. Which, for those that haven't watched, I was in Vegas last week at the get together, and it was amazing. Can't wait for next year. I think Gary said the Critical Drinker's going next year, I believe.
Oh, right, cool. I'd like to meet him actually. He looks very tall, Critical Drinker. And Az looks very
big.
Tall. I'm not going to say that.
I've actually had quite an interesting month for the those of us who purchase comics. Who don't know me, I run a comic store, and this was the first month where, if you remember last year, Diamond Comics had that big thing where they stopped shipping books, and Marvel was like pencils down, and it destroyed everything. Everything has been tumbling down. We got a new DC distributor last year, which has been doing a fantastic job. Lunar Distribution's doing great. But today I ordered my Marvel from Penguin Random House because after 25 years that our business has been dealing with Diamond Comics, they were going to cut our discount to 40% instead of 50%, which we already give a discount to our customers. But anyway, so I'm very tired because this is my time of the month when I order books, and it was a Diamond order, a Penguin order, a Lunar order, and it was not user friendly. So it's been a fun week.
I forgot to mention, you do have those comics on hold for me, right? From Free Comic Book Day.
Yes.
Of course.
I believe House of Slaughter and you asked about Stray Dogs.
Yeah.
They never sent us any.
Okay.
We didn't get a single copy, and I was really worried about it because but I may have something for you. I got it as a replacement for a customer, but it may find they did a special second printing or something of number 1, and then they did multiple printings of the other ones as well.
I picked a few of those up the other day.
Did you get the Crow movie cover homage?
I can't remember. I think I got the 28 Days Later one with the red cover, and then there's the one, it's a white cover with and then the two on the side. I was going to show, I picked up about 20 of these the other day.
Nice. Boris.
Where'd you find the room in your place to put all these comics, man?
Well, you saw my little
cabinet
comic cave.
Bruce Almighty. He's got that file cabinet. Just opens all the way up.
I wish. I wish.
Well, how's comics here? Hello. Are doing these days, Justin? Because what are you buying though? You're not buying the trash that's going through DC and Marvel.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. We're very specific about how we handle our comic business. I mean, it's very the gentleman who owns the business that I work for. He's been around for a very long time, and most of our customers he helped when they were children, especially with sports cards. Comics is kind of a second hat thing to the business that we're in. But what I do is I get everybody I possibly can. I get them on a previous order book, or I get them to put together a pull list. And what I actually order for the store that is outside of what the customers order for themselves is very small. And, I just passed on one today because I remember Kelly Sudaconic was that woman who's like, if you don't buy my politics, don't buy my book. And I was like, I wonder if she's a good writer or a bad writer. So I pulled her up on my Diamond spread, and I look at, because you can sort their search website's great. You can sort by writer. So I put in her name only and searched everything. She can't write. Every book that she's been a part of has bombed. I don't understand.
What a surprise.
I'm like, how is she getting any kind of attention from anybody? Right now, she's currently writing the Old Guard sequel through Image Comics. No. And I've got 7 guys who read that book. 4 of them have dropped it after issue 2. The rest are probably only buying it out of habit. So she was going to write a new one for Marvel coming out in October, which is like a one-shot featuring Ms. Marvel, the Kamala Khan's origin story. And it's a one-shot. I was like, no, I'm just not going to buy it. So, I try not. I've been burned. I've been burned on letting politics get in front of what a comic collector wants, because a lot of my guys are prospectors, and I know they did that Jabba the Hutt one shot for the War of the Bounty Hunters, and that writer also had some Twitter going back and forth. and I checked it out and I was like, well, this is kind of bad. And I kind of ignored it. And at the last second I ordered it, turned out to be a first appearance of a new major character that they're going to be playing with. And I'm glad I brought it in for my prospectors because they like to capitalize on those books. We do a lot of grading. So a lot of our guys are into that. So I try to stay away from the junk and concentrate on the good stuff. Like anything that James Tynion, I know he's going outside of superheroes now, but anything James Tynion writes, anything Donny Cates writes, I know some people don't like him, but his writing is still good. Cullen Bunn's writing something called Basilisk for Boom Studios, which is really good right now. So there's a lot of independent stuff out there that's fantastic that you can still find good things. I know like the people like to beat up on some of the titles they find, because that makes good videos. But there are still books out there that are worth reading. Hi, PJ.
Hello.
I gotta say hi to Chris P because I met up with him in Vegas. So good to see you. Snartapoopus is here.
Fun.
Derek is here. So we got, let's see, where was it? Your pizza?
Yeah, I was having a nice meat feast, so I thought I would finish that.
So
meat
we got
feast.
Mags, and we got Evan. So
I had a big roast beef sandwich, so we're in the same punishment corner.
I don't go into a punishment corner. See anybody put salad on my plate, I just think that's what my food eats. Get it off.
My father used to say, I didn't crawl my way to the top of the food chain to eat carrots.
I'm the same. But yeah, last week looked fun, Father. It looked amazing.
it was.
I was so
amazing.
jealous. I was.
Would you be there next year, PJ?
Unlikely. They just the travel and stuff like that. But also, if I go there with my wife, the two of us will be busy in the casinos.
I didn't really play this. The only thing I did was the slots, and even then, I didn't do much of that. It's all digital. I mean, I brought a whole bag of coins with me, and I couldn't even play them.
Well, when we were there a few years ago, we found a casino that used coins, and we sat there. My wife loves the slots, so we just sat there, big bag of coins. Whoop. And it was great because a beer was $1. Yeah.
Did you not have that ring that Q had in Diamonds Are Forever? You
guys
remember that?
Diamonds Are Forever is what, 40-some years ago, though.
Can you not remember that scene where Q had that ring?
Basically, it could mess around with it.
Bandit. Yeah, you could win it all the time with the ring. Do you remember?
Oddly enough, I remember a Transformers cartoon episode where I think it was Blue Streak was gaming a machine with a little device. And I was like, this is kind of weird for a children's cartoon, but apparently he was ripping off a casino, Intergalactic Casino.
In movies, there's always ways to beat the casinos in movies. Always. Yeah.
And we have Max with us. Max was also in Vegas with us last week.
Yep.
Hey, Max. How you doing?
Good to see you again.
Good.
Yeah.
How's everyone?
Well, I'm hoping to have a Birmingham one here.
Man of War, I got to meet up with. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm saying I hope they have one in somewhere like Birmingham, somewhere central for us guys in Scotland to come down as the critical drinker.
Gary said he's going to Wales.
Wales?
It's too far away.
Yeah, it's too far away, yeah.
Ian and I have already had that discussion.
Yeah, we already had. I don't know. It depends. It depends on my finances whether I'd go up to visit Gary in Wales. That's the it's always good. I mean, I'd love to meet him. I'd love to meet Father as well. I mean,
would it be easier for you to go to Wales or Las Vegas?
Easier to go to Las Vegas for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Same here. Yeah, I could actually just drive 10 minutes down the road to the airport.
Yeah, same here. I mean, it's only 20 minutes on the train for me to get to Heathrow or Gatwick.
Oh.
So
yeah.
So you're saying that the airplane ticket would be cheaper to go to Vegas and Wales?
No.
Not cheaper. You said easier.
Yeah, easier.
Okay. What I mean by
easy, not cheap. That's cardinal rule.
Yeah, but the thing is,
first he's got to get on his donkey, and then he's got to go up the mountain and down the mountain, and up the mountain and down the mountain, and cross the roads.
Donkey.
No, I mean the thing is though, I'd rather go to Vegas than Wales. Do you know what I mean?
Wales is beautiful. Not as nice.
It is. I've been there once.
Not as nice as Scotland, but it's basically I would rather go from this country to Vegas
Yeah, same
than
here.
through 2 countries just to go.
Yeah, same
I
here.
would say
same
the
here.
one downside of Vegas was the resort fees.
Hmm.
That's always
Because
the case.
I ended up paying $150 extra for the resort fee.
Eesh.
Yeah.
Well, it was like $39 a night.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, we don't know whether he's going back to Vegas for the next one. A lot of
I
people are
kind of
saying
hope he
maybe it might be
doesn't.
Florida or something.
He said Florida. He's mentioned Texas as well.
Yeah.
So he's
But, I mean,
mentioned
you
a
know-
couple.
Come to the Midwest. We got room. We got
Yeah.
lots of room.
Come to Scotland.
well, we might do one in Brighton, Blackpool,
Blackpool.
Blackpool.
Well,
Yeah.
Blackpool, it's easier than well. It's at least it cuts out about 2-3 hours off the journey to the Wales.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Nerdrotic
I
live from Saudi Arabia.
Now,
Yeah.
Dubai would be good. Damn expensive, but good.
Dubai, yeah. What a strange place that is, my lord. Dubai.
That was the one thing I did not do much of last week was having drinks because
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was up at Fremont Street. One of the guys I was with got a $12 Jack and Coke.
$12.
12. Wow.
Can't you go to like a Walgreens and get that for $3?
Yeah.
Actually, I
I
hopped the
did this
bus
like-
on Wednesday, went to the comic book store. There was a restaurant nearby, so I had breakfast there. Then went to the grocery store, picked up a $7.50 of Jameson's because they had the stout case type, which was only $29. So to think I got a $7.50 of Jameson's for $29 when a Jack and Coke's going for $12, I think I came out ahead.
I was meaning to
Just a
ask you
bit.
about that. I'm surprised you guys didn't all organize one big trip to a comic store in Vegas for the free comic book day, which was the weekend you were there.
Yeah, but I flew
yeah, I
out
forgot
on
that.
Friday. I flew out on
Oh.
Saturday.
Oh, so it must have been a Friday
Oh.
night party then.
But
Okay.
you
Now,
guys
Gary-
got to have
Gary
a paper
did.
bag, innit, with the drinks. You got to have a paper bag when you're walking down the road, covering the label of the drink on the bottle,
well,
right?
I mean, there were people
States
drinking like
are different.
big margaritas.
You know, I don't think you.
That's only in the
legally-
telly to do that.
I
no,
don't
they
think
do
you
it. They do
legally
it.
can, but
They do it in America.
Well, I don't think in Vegas you legally
All
could,
right.
but in Vegas, the alcohol lobby is so strong. I
Yeah.
think you practically could.
Yeah.
In Canada,
Well,
you
the
have to do
smell
it.
of weed
There are
is
states that do
horrible, too.
allow that. There are states
Yeah.
that do allow that. Some states don't. There's dry states. We still have areas that are dry counties.
Lynchburg,
Oh, yeah.
where they make Jack Daniels, is still a dry state.
I
Well,
know.
well-
Isn't that amazing? I
Well,
guess
it's a
it
dry
makes
so-
county, but you know.
getting
Ian
tossed
knows
to work.
this, and I've already mentioned it on our stream earlier this week. But I met up with Man of War and Nick Weiser at Caesar's Cigar Bar. I think the drinks were the cheapest were 12 or no 20.
Wow. Maybe you should have had a
Actually-
secret bottle in your drink with a little straw coming out of your.
I was lucky they didn't
Suck it
criticize
in.
my cigars.
Look at it. Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Maybe you
he
should have
is
done
right
that.
here. The prices were better at the Fandom Bar. I had a few beers there, and that was not too expensive.
There you
Yeah.
go, Father. I've got
Um,
my cigars here.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
So I have. I've got my King Edward.
Now I gotta say the cigar humidor that they had, the walk-in humidor, was pretty amazing.
Where at
It's
Caesar's?
just at Caesar's.
Yeah. I'm still
But-
trying to get a humidor
Do
instead
they
of
have a
tin.
separate area that you can smoke while you're gambling then?
Yeah.
Actually, I think you could smoke the whole way because I walked
Yeah,
out
you
of
can-
Caesar's
you
smoking
can-
the whole
you can
way.
Smoke. You can pretty
Yeah.
much. You can smoke while gaming.
Yeah, I've done
The-
that. I
The
basically,
only
that's
place
what I
where
do.
the only place I think where they separated is at the airport.
Wow. I think it's really great to actually dress in the tuxedo and have the little cigarette dangling out of your mouth like James
I
Bond.
did
Oh,
that.
The
we
Lucy
were
Hale
on
on the
tuxedos.
We were on a
Just,
cruise and they
You know,
had a
I
James
did-
Bond night.
I did that once at the Bellagio because I was there for my friend's wedding.
Ah.
So it's like it was in the spa tower. So in between, that's when I was smoking. So in between, like, you know, I'd go down and cigarettes and I'd just be like, you know, in my tux and smoking.
Yeah.
But did you
I
not
did that.
say
I
in
was-
Bond?
I was on a cruise and it was a James Bond evening. So I
Ooh.
dressed in a tux and then I went down to the casino on the boat with a cigar.
I
Oh,
remember
my
when they
money
dressed in tuxedo on a boat, then the boat turned upside down. Do you remember that one? That was
Poseidon.
That was some adventure.
Doesn't sound like fun at all. I don't like that joy ride at all. That's no fun.
Is this a memory of yours, or is this the Poseidon adventure?
No, it's Poseidon adventure, obviously. But you know what, right? If we were all there, Father could be the priest. That saves us all.
Yeah.
Just remember, Gene Hackman was the priest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and I
Remember?
die at the end.
Yeah, wasn't going to bring that up, but hey.
This movie's not fun at all. I don't like this movie at all.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, for what, a 40-year-old movie?
I would be Shirley Winters.
Yeah.
Well, you got the hair for it.
Well, it's either that or Tau Inferno get burned.
No, I'm gonna be Ernest Borgnine, the guy who busts the hooker cop and marries her.
Oh,
There
excellent.
you go.
Excellent.
About the only
Did you
time
see
you
the
hear that
remake
word
was
on this
terrible,
stream.
wasn't it?
Oh, you can't remake that. I mean,
No,
you
they
could,
did,
but
though.
you can't. No, I know,
See,
I
every-
know.
Terrible.
That's why I think remakes are just it's cheap and nasty. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They take
Oh, yeah.
something and think, oh, people will like this. No,
Yeah.
people already like this.
There
You
are
change it, then you wonder why people get annoyed.
there are so few times when, and this goes for songs, TVs, movies, where if you're going to remake something, you had better do it better.
Yes.
Then it's like
There's-
there's an Australian band called Pseudo Echo, and in the 80s they did a cover of Funky Town, which was originally by Lips Incorporated.
Funky. Even I know that one, and I
Yeah.
don't like music.
And I mean, I didn't even know. I mean, of course, like it's like, oh, that was a cover of something, and then it's like I listened to the Lips Incorporated version. It's like, well, that's cool, but yeah, I mean, God, the Pseudo Echo version is just so much better.
The one movie remake, which to me was more like a follow-on, was Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I love that one. I like that.
The 56 was superb. The 78 one changed it enough that it felt like a continuation of it, because they
very
went from a
true.
small town to a large city. They didn't
Yeah.
have a repeat, or the names changed slightly, so it didn't feel as if they were just doing a step-by-step remake. It just felt as if it was a continuation on from it.
There
And
have
I
been
like
some
both of
really
them.
good remakes, though. I mean, I thought The Fugitive with Harrison Ford was a really
Yeah.
good version. I thought
Well,
that
was
was
that a remake, or because it was originally a TV show?
it was a kind of a remake of the TV show. Squash all those episodes
Okay.
into one.
It
That's
was
like
more
the
of a
Charlie's
more of a
Angels.
based on than it was an actual.
Yeah.
It was like the
Homage.
Charlie's Angels movie was homage to it. The first Charlie's Angels movie I liked. After that,
Yeah.
rubbish.
Well, they
Yeah.
paid tribute to the original Angels in the first one too, so it was definitely a tribute as opposed to a redo.
The Starsky and Hutch one was terrible.
Oh,
my
God.
That was
Yeah.
that was
Bad.
meant to be terrible. I mean, when you put Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller in something, you're not supposed to expect greatness
Yeah.
most of the time.
Well, this is a
I mean,
Cold War movie that they redid.
Yeah. Fail
The
safe.
original had Henry Fonda, Walter Matthau, and Larry Hagman.
Larry Hagman.
Very faithful to the book. And then
Yeah.
they redid it in 2000 live on
With
TV, and it was
George-
actually really good too.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty. I mean, yeah, I mean,
That's a great cast. I haven't seen that.
Considering they had they had George Clooney, they had Noah Wiley, they had
Dreyfus,
Right.
Cheadle,
yeah, they had a pretty good. But yeah, I mean, it just wasn't. It was not as gritty as. It wasn't as gritty.
Well, I mean, you got to remember they did it live on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. I
You know what?
just thought.
I will give them that because of the live performance. I mean, I remember when they did ER live.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And they had the scene in the break room where they had to keep talking about the game, but the game was
Yeah.
changing from time zone to time zone.
Yeah.
But also, they did a live version of EastEnders. Do you remember that, PJ?
Yes, I didn't
It was
watch it, but my
terrible.
wife watches EastEnders, and she was just
Terrible.
sitting there, and I was just
Absolutely
sitting there
awful.
thinking, I'm waiting for them to trip up.
Is that the
But they-
show
but-
that Chris Pratt makes fun of on the Graham Norton show?
No, that was
Coronation Street.
No, that was the Geordie Shore version.
Oh, the Jersey Shore version.
Jersey Shore
Yeah.
version, with British version of Geordie Shore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's that many of these things. Hollyoaks,
Yeah.
Brookside.
They're all soap operas. They're all
yeah.
soap operas. EastEnders is a soap opera. It's a huge soap opera over here that British people watch for some reason because it's absolutely awful as far as I'm concerned. So.
I must admit, I grew up watching Coronation Street with my mother. She
Oh, God.
loved it, so it was always on anytime.
That is the longest running soap opera in the world.
And you've still got Ken Roach, who was in the very first episode in 1962, 61.
Died recently.
He was on it right up until he passed away. And he only passed away a year ago.
Yeah.
So he was on it from the very first episode, and it was 61, I think it started.
Yeah, no, it's one of the longest ones. Actually, the longest one, I think, in history. So, yeah, we have crap shows over here, guys. Sorry.
Yeah,
we have crap shows here too. You're not alone.
Yes.
We have entire shows based on families that nobody really cares about, but for some reason they're famous. Yeah, that's us.
Yeah, I know. I can never understand that.
Nor could I.
Imagine they started putting cameras in the palace and started showing us, the Queen, all day long.
Oh, God.
No, see, every time I hear about the Kardashians, I'm actually just waiting for the board to come in and actually assimilate them.
I know. It's the greatest thing in the world. It's funny that comes up because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine today about, it's nice to see when some kind of moral backbone wins. And I'm sure you guys have all heard about that. The OnlyFans site is going to be getting rid of all the sexually explicit material. I know they're still they're going to only allow nudity, but it's not to be sexually explicit. So if it's artistic, and I thought, what a win for once. Get these people to stop, because there's people out there that this all they do. That's how they make their money, and it's just
yes. But they also complain that people are actually staring at them and objectifying them.
Well, that's what they're doing to themselves. Honestly, I mean, it's not a good way to live. It's not something you want to. Like I have a family member who loves Kim Kardashian. I'm like, that is not somebody you idolize.
Yeah,
no.
It's like I remember being at this person's house a couple years ago just for a gathering, and like she had an older, like a teenage daughter, like 13 or 14 years old. It's like, oh, we should do this pose like Kim Kardashian, like Kim or Kylie or what. It's like, are you effing kidding me? Like, anyway. But yeah, my question is, I mean, I understand why they're doing it. I don't think it's a moral. I don't think it's a moral. I don't think it's centered in morals. I think the moral question is on the periphery. I think
maybe it's a potential legal issue down the road.
No, I think the creators and founders of the site want to get their sweat equity cashed out, and they can't unless they legitimize the content. But here's the thing. It's like, what happens when like how much of it is actually these people doing their own adult content, and then the people who aren't doing their own adult content, they're going to go somewhere else.
Well, yeah.
It's like,
thing is though, I don't see what the problem is really, because the people, as far as I understand how it works, you have, like, say for instance, PJ wanted an OnlyFans thing, and he was this attractive woman. Only the people that only the people that pay can see PJ. So what is the problem? I don't understand what the problem is. Why did I have to?
I personally feel that anytime, and maybe I'm being a little too high on my judgy high horse, but I feel in the world, in our generations, that the more that we have opportunities to degrade ourselves as a society. They talk about the fall of Rome, and it was one degradation after another when eventually the society just collapsed. But you look at these last 12 months, and I would love to see a documentary on how everything that tied together, whether it was people leaving their jobs or they didn't get to work and then the government paid them to stay home, and you have this entire swath of people now who are very comfortable sitting home and doing whatever.
I can tell you a couple of stories about that.
It's the whole thing where when you give somebody that easy out option, it is temptation. And at the end of the day, not to preach, that's Father Miller's job. At the end of the day, I don't like to see this thing become widespread. It was like when the internet became a thing. You know, there were crazy people out there, but they were on the fringe. Now that you have this ability to connect, now there are large groups. Now they're organizing. Now you have a bigger problem. So it's a balance. It's very yin yang.
Yeah.
And I just like to see it when someone takes a step and says, you know what, for whatever reasons we decide we're going to eliminate this particular thing from our platform. If you want to do it, you can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I believe in freedom of expression, but it's just nice to see that maybe people are, well, I can't make money showing my body anymore. Maybe I should go back to work and, you know, do something a little more
It's the same as you were
meaningful.
saying. It's the same as what you're saying about the government are actually encouraging people not to work. One of my favourite restaurants opened back up, and we went down, and it was all new staff, and we were talking to him, and he says 60% of his staff decided, I can stay at home. The government will, I'll be getting a paycheck and I don't need to work. So what's the point? So they were, because they got furloughed, they basically learned that I don't need to go out. I don't need to spend money, which means I don't need to earn as much. So I don't need to work. The government will pay me. And I was speaking to another friend who has works for a small company, just delivers sandwiches. And she said, out of her 10 drivers, only 4 came back to work because of the exact same reason. So they're talking about 60% of the workforce are deciding that we don't need to work now because the government are giving us enough.
It was a big eye opener because you're looking at, you know, people in my shop, but back in the day, we talk nerd stuff all the time. And I got a lot of people who were one side of the political spectrum would constantly talk about how, you know, the beautiful idea of a Star Trek universe and not necessarily a communist, but a borderline socialistic platform where, you know, the world takes care of you and everybody has the same amount and you're equal. And I keep saying, look, they can't make you rich, but they can make everybody poor if you're staying inside your house. But it was an eye opener to see how many people actually were okay with not doing anything. Like, I don't need to contribute.
The dumbfounding thing is Star Trek linked to the Star Trek communist article.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
And
once
from
they
what
had a
I
replicator,
heard, once I heard that, I guess that convention did not go very well.
No, I heard that. I was listening to Gary's stream about it.
But you know, there was this nurse, okay, that was getting crap wages, and she went on OnlyFans, and she was just dressed in a bikini and talking and stuff like that. And she was reported that she got paid. She made $1 million or something like that within 4 months. And I can't really see what's the problem with that at all. You know, I mean, as I said, only people that pay to see her are the people that watching it. It's not like it's being displayed on that platform. Do you know what I mean? And I just, I find it really weird.
Just the current thing, because you look at the past, you always heard people were stripping or lap dances because it was a way to make enough money to go to university to be a lawyer or a doctor or something, and it was because they couldn't get the money anywhere else. But
what happens when they're 40 years old and nobody wants to pay to be a part of their channel anymore?
Well, they would have made their money.
Made enough to actually.
Good point.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you've got all those pervy guys actually willing to give somebody money for nothing.
Well, look, the thing is, though, you know, I hear what you guys are saying, but I personally, I don't really see it as a problem. I mean, obviously, you want to stamp out nudity and all that stuff like that. But as I said, right, people are free to do people have got free will. They can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? And to take, you know, if somebody quit because they were getting crap pay as being a nurse, and they go on this and they get like $1 million within 2 months. I mean, surely that's a good thing. I don't know. I think it's a good thing, really.
Well, if the market bears it, but I mean, no pun intended.
Now she can look after her family. Now she could, you know.
I think that's
free
the door. Hang on, opportunity's knocking back here.
I don't know. As I said, I had this thing about not enforcing stuff on people that are not harming anybody, and not harming anybody. You know,
but I was happy to see that something went the other way, the other side. Like the pendulum swung back and said, "Oh, look, a little bit of." You know, self-respect and shimmer of new day, as opposed to, hey, look, more in the gutter all day.
Exactly. See what you were saying about the degradation of the society, which caused the downfall of Rome. I'm actually in the camp of the rabbi. I'm waiting for the end to come. Just for the simple fact is, I've been watching it just getting worse and worse. Guys. No, it's just because it's getting worse and worse. Something has to give. it's basically just going to turn it upside down, because you look at it, you had basically Roman Empire, one of the most successful and at the time lucrative things, and it just died over the course of a couple of hundred years, and it was due to the degradation of the society.
I'm going to go ahead and get a copyright claim, but this is the thought that came to mind.
All right. Okay. What's this?
That's a chain of office you're wearing. May I see it?
Who's that? John Hurt?
No, Paul. Oh, darn.
I think capture card's loaded up.
Red Dragon. What's this?
Sir
This is
Richard
not-
is appointed Attorney General for Wales.
I know you think that's John Hurt with a tash.
It looks like him.
Why,
doesn't it?
Richard, it profits a man nothing to give his soul for the whole world,
Mhm.
but for Wales.
It's not very good signal, Father, because it keeps freezing.
Well, that's meant for all seasons, but that was the thought. You know, the woman that flaunts her body can make all the money she wants, but what good is it in the end
Yeah.
if
That
she
is
loses
true.
her soul?
What?
Yeah, that is true, but it depends what she's doing, and I don't think these people are really doing anything bad. I mean, I don't know because I don't know, so I'm
Well-
not part of that world. But if there's someone that just wants to make money so they can help their
Well,
family, which this nurse was,
Yep.
then
Well,
I don't really see anything
That's
wrong
why
with
he
it.
put me as the OnlyFans contributor, not himself.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know the full story, so I really can't
Anyway,
comment
that
on
was
it. But I only know that story. That's all.
1969's. That was 1969's Man for All Season, which won Best Picture that year. That had a story of St. Thomas More.
Yeah.
And it's
Was
martyrdom.
that John Hurt in the
Looked
role
like
with
John
the
Hurt.
guy standing up? It looked like him.
Let me see.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it is.
John
Let's
Hurt
bring
with
up
a
the cast.
tash.
Yeah, it did look like him, didn't it?
When you're ready to change the subject, Father Miller, I've got a cool show and tell item when we're done here.
Hey,
Paul
brought him in
Schofield is the one.
Mm.
Leo McKern, Orson
Hmm.
Welles,
Olsen Wells.
John Hurt.
Yep.
It is John
Hurt.
Hurt. See? Oh wow.
He's been around. He's been around.
Yeah.
yes. John
Was.
Was
Yes, of
yeah.
course.
was.
Because
Yeah.
he was in Hellboy, right? That was
Yeah.
Yes,
He was
the
the- yeah, he
first
was the-
version. Yeah, the first version he was.
So anyway, I brought something for show and tell today because I think we should start show and tell. I think that'd be
Go on
fun.
in.
That's what I do on a Saturday, and it's
Yes.
the exact same thing. Wow.
First appearance of Boba Fett. I got
Ah.
that today. Visit my collection. It sits right next to my first appearance of the Punisher. So
I like that plastic case you've got to protect it. It's really cool.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I read most of my books, but at the end of the day, when you pass 45, you start thinking, well, my kids have to sell this stuff. They're going to have to find a way to do it the easy way, and they can just plug in,
I used to buy, if I wanted to keep something, I would buy 2 copies at the time.
Mhm.
One for
This is a
reading.
little pricey to buy
one for-
two.
Yes, but at the time, I used to do it when they came out. If I thought, I want to keep that because it was either the artwork was great, I would buy 2, and one of them would go in on a sleeve or maybe even on my wall. But that
I
was
gotta ask-
when my kids were young. Now I
got-
don't have any of that left.
Is there
I
a
got that one
timeline
wrong.
on? Is there a timeline on my comics?
So, okay, so Father Miller brought me Something is Killing the Children #1. He's like, can you grade this for me? Make sure I can. And I put it in my grading box with all the other books I wanted to grade. And then I told you, I said, well, hey, James Tinian IV and Werder, the artist, are doing a signing. Let me get that in there and get it signed. Yeah, no problem. So I'm a couple weeks go by, I'm shuffling through my books, and I look in there, and there's all the books I was going to send into James Tynan.
Right.
And the due date was like 2 days. I was like, oh,
You got it
no.
airmailed though.
I next day aired it, and I got it to them. Here's the deal with that, though. They have stipulated that they're doing the signings at different times. So
Oh, so it'll be a while then.
so James will be doing one, and the artist will be doing a different one. So it could be up to 6 months before we see the book back.
Don't worry.
That's cool.
But still, you're
worry.
talking probably when that show drops, when Netflix or whoever puts it out, you're probably looking at a $3,000 book top value, maybe $3,500, just because that
Nice.
was one of those books that nobody bought. And when it came out, I was like, Something is Killing the Children. Now that's a title. That's a title that makes you want to. What is this book? And it was
I'm
fantastic.
just glad the comic
Yeah.
book guy recommended it for me. That's the only reason I picked it up.
Yeah,
I
that
think comic
well,
books are kind of
Figuring there's a
slightly dead now, I guess.
$3.99 purchase, I guess, I don't know, what is that, about 1,000% return?
oh, a little bit more maybe.
Gee, who knew?
Comic books
Maybe-
used to
maybe
be
we're
nice
like-
and colourful, didn't they? They used to be nice and colourful and simple, and
Oh, and,
really
well,
exciting. And stuff.
I finally got a car I do, and that actually looks like Peter Toronto.
Excellent.
So I had to
Excellent.
get that too.
I
Can't
gotta show
afford the
one
big one.
cover. Let me see if I can find this. Let's see. Let's see. So this was. Oh darn! Hold on. So I picked up, like I said, 20 Boris Karloff comics, and I love this cover. This cover is the reason why I bought it. Let me bring it up in the thing. Okay. Whoops. Okay, here we go. Tell me how awesome that looks.
Oh wow!
Ooh,
Wow.
Oh
I
yeah,
like that.
that's
I
nice.
love his hat.
the old
Yeah.
painted covers, fantastic. Those classic painted covers. You know, when
Look at
artists
that.
were
I
really
mean-
yeah.
But in when I used to buy comics, for me it was always the art first and the story second. When I was
Oh,
a
it's
kid,
yeah.
you open the
yeah.
comic and the it's brilliant. You know what I mean? Like and it was
It's
used.
artwork like that,
Yeah, I mean that's fantastic, right? Look
It
at
is.
the art; it's really good.
and the artwork inside is just superb. It's just
Yeah.
I can't. That's why I don't like modern stuff. I stick with the old classics,
Ah.
the old paper ones.
I don't think
Oh,
you like
I-
anything but
I-
Judge Dredd, to be honest. It's all I ever see come up on your screen.
Well, I do like the occasional other ones. I do have.
Something different? Oh, there you go.
But that's got Johnny Alpha in it, which was a 2000
Oh.
character because
Oh.
they bought Star Lord and there's Rojoz and Hammerstein. Basically, 2000 AD bought over Star Lord and
Oh,
all that.
2000 AD was one of the biggest comics in England, wasn't it? That
Yeah.
and then Deadline started up, which was punk comics, and that
Yeah.
was quite good as well. But
Some of the artworks in these were just
yeah.
absolutely amazing.
I
and
like the
that's
guy
thing.
who draws Strompian Dog. He's a great artist, the fellow who draws Strompian Dog. So
Look at the artwork
Yeah.
in that one, and that's basically
Oh,
Nemesis.
You know, we found a bunch of in that collection that we got. There was a bunch of these newspaper-sized things. I think it was called Comic Scene, and it's the first like 10 issues, and it's full newspaper, but like it's got full-page Steranko artwork and all these classic guys that have ever done anything. You know, the guys who were doing it all the time. They were drawing for everybody because there wasn't that many of them.
well,
Yeah,
you know,
and,
over in the UK, when Marvel started, they weren't allowed to sell their comics. So what they had to do
Yeah.
is reprint them on horrible paper, on
No
really,
kidding.
like rice paper,
I didn't know
and
that.
they reprint them, but with like only 2 colors in there. And we used to buy them, so there
Yeah.
were reprints of these kind of comics. And when Marvel first started, we had to buy them, and then suddenly they were allowed to sell those comics over here, and we started buying
See-
them, which made the other ones
I
redundant.
wonder what the restriction was all about. Was
I
it
don't
just
know.
the
I don't know.
American ideals.
I think it was
Dirty
I'm gonna,
70s,
I have to
during the
live like a
70s.
hermit the
I
next
think
month.
it's we just didn't like shiny stuff. We just wanted paper.
Yeah, like that. Yeah,
Well,
like
that-
that. So
With the amount of
what I was
comics I
saying.
picked up over the last 2 weeks, I'm gonna have to live like a hermit because this was the one I just got the other day.
Yeah.
I picked up about 20 in Vegas, and then I just picked up another 20 last Wednesday.
I've actually, believe it or not, recently got right back into Superman. Got a couple
know,
of
that
wee
could be
bits
your-
and pieces.
That could be your sacrifice for Lent next year, Father. Is no comics.
Uh-oh.
The only problem is the pull list will be huge by then.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what? I'm an old-fashioned guy. I hate the new design of Superman's costume. Please give him his underpants back.
They
Please,
did.
please.
Yeah,
please.
That's why I got.
I
That's why I
took
got the
over.
one. It's just the bust because he needs his He needs his red shorts.
He does.
Yeah, they brought it back when Bendis took over a little over a year ago because the Jim Lee design was great, but yeah, when Bendis took over and they relaunched it, they gave him the red underoos.
Yeah.
Because I prefer the classic Superman look, you know me, but I'm just old. What can I say? But yeah, I mean, I love the way, you know, some of the stuff that Father's collected, you know, from the 70s and action comics and stuff, and the way he's drawn in those comics. It's Superman for me. That's, you know, Henry Cavill's costume is just like a onesie, and it's just awful, absolutely awful. Chris Reeves will always be Superman for me. You know?
Can you imagine if they gave him like a pair of underwear to wear over that?
I'm the exact same with Dredd.
Judge Dredd.
That is Judge Dredd. The Carol Urban one is just basically not the Judge. That's Judge Dredd.
PJ, that he looks stupid with the green gloves and the big thing. Do you know what I mean? That's why they went for that. Of course he will. He looks stupid.
No. That's like saying Wolverine should
looks good.
This is coming from the guy who's a fan of red underwear is telling the green gloves look stupid.
Exactly.
You know, your gloves look dumb, but my underwear is fantastic.
Yeah, but no, to me, that's what it is. It's you're wanting the comic, but it's Wolverine. I want to see him in yellow spandex for the exact same reason.
There are some characters that you can get away with the way they look in comics, but there's some characters you should just stay away from the way they were designed in comics. Wolverine,
Fred and Barney in the Flintstones movie.
Well, that was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and they had to look like that. But Wolverine, he shouldn't look like the way he looks like, because he just looks stupid. And plus, remember, Wolverine's only 5 foot in the comics.
I know he is. He's meant to be really short.
You know what? I forgive all of that because Hugh Jackman played him for 17 years and didn't deny it once. And I'll give him, he can have being tall. But if they do recast, I would like to see a 5 foot nothing.
You want Danny DeVito to play him, don't you?
No,
you get Tom Cruise.
Young. Tom Cruise would probably do it, but I hate Tom Cruise. So
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So
I need an unknown. Like Hugh Jackman was an unknown. You need an unknown to play these characters. To be quite honest,
someone to take it and actually make it their own again.
It's like Will Smith playing Bishop. It just doesn't work. You need unknown people so that you can identify the character and not the actor when you're watching the film.
Yeah,
that is true.
That was the same as what they were thinking about with Judge Dredd before Sylvester Stallone got it.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be an unknown, and it was going to be about Dredd. And as soon as Sylvester Stallone was in, it became a Sylvester Stallone movie.
That's why I like the Carl Urban movie so much better, because it was so dark and gritty. He never took his helmet off.
Yep.
It was about Dredd, and that as gory as that movie was, it was good.
I wanted to see Carl Urban and Sylvester Stallone's Mega City 1.
This is going to be good, by the way. The one that Father Miller's shown us right now. I believe it is the animals that we all sent into space as experiments early on are now returning home, and they are intelligent. I can't read the text on there, but it was something like that.
So we're going to get an intelligent Latka.
Like the Russian dog and the
Latka was
monkey.
the dog.
Yeah. They're all coming back. The mind bending, blah 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 blah. Yeah. 2 years later.
I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to this one.
Now they're coming home. Yeah, that's it.
Cable and
coming home.
And that's Jeff Lemire and Sorrentino.
Oh, he's knocked himself out. Father's knocked himself out.
Hey, we can play now.
Oh.
Hey.
Starts with him.
You know what? I took the time to tell you that Sorrentino and Lemire did a book called, and I recommend this. I think it only went to 25 or 30 issues, but it was called Gideon Falls. And I read this book late one night. I think it was issue 5. It scared me. Like, it gave me the creeps. I started hearing stuff in my homes, and I'll punk out for a minute and go find the issue that freaked me out so I can share it with you guys. I'll be right back.
I do like Marvels. I thought Marvels was the last comic that I saw that I really loved. Obviously about the Marvel history and stuff like. I really love that comic, and they should make that into a film one day. They really should. And also Miller. Frank Miller's Daredevil. I thought that was absolutely brilliant as far as I was concerned.
Never a fan of Daredevil at all.
When Frank Miller took over, he just made that work so much better than the way Stan Lee made it work. That's for sure.
The one that I really enjoyed recently was the new Batman '89 comic that just came out.
Oh yeah, oh yes,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
When '78 is coming out.
Oh, when I stick to what the comics was really about, that's when I enjoy it. When I start going off on this tandem about trying to put real life issues into today's stuff, that's when I just.
That's why I love the classics. Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I was a big Spider-Man. Basically, I stopped reading Spider-Man when Doc Ock became
Yes.
Spidey in the Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's when I stopped reading it. Just basically killed it for me.
Same here. And also, have you not noticed that they never ever done Gwen properly? They never done that story Gwen. I'd like to see Gwen, when he tries to save her and she breaks her neck, and and he's really sad, and all that stuff that was in the comic. I like to see an adaptation of that comic, because that comic's so iconic.
Mhm.
But in the films, they never did it the way it was in the comics, which is such a crime, in my opinion. It really is, because all the emotions sucked out of it when you
Yeah, of
don't
course,
do it that way.
Because it's not, they don't care about the emotion, they just care about the spectacle. It has to look good. The rest of it is unimportant.
I mean, that's stupid. What is it? Was it Amazing Spider-Man when Gwen fell and hit her head on the? It was so crap. I was just sitting in the cinema, really
he
angry.
stopped her just a fraction above, but she still bent over and bang. And
You see, the reason why they did that is because they can never have Spider-Man catch her and then her break her neck because Spider-Man was trying to save her. Do you know what I mean? It's just so annoying. That
really, that was that bad for you, huh? Because I thought it was okay. I mean,
I hated it.
No, I thought it was bad as well, I must admit.
Worse than One More Day?
Oh God.
I don't know that one more
But-
day.
But you know what, right? I didn't like Garfield's version of Peter Parker. He was too smart. He was too
Garfield.
handsome.
Sorry.
You know what
He
I
was
mean?
too cool. He was too cool.
He was too cool.
No,
It's
he was
just
a
not
geeky
gonna
kid.
work.
He was a
No,
geeky...
he wasn't.
No, he
People
was a
liked
geeky kid. He basically started off as a geeky kid. He basically was just the underdog. Right, fair enough, not geeky
Yeah,
as
in a
in
comic.
geeky like us. I'm talking about the comic. I
He was
don't
a
care
scapegoat.
about TV shows. Yeah, I mean, he was the wee weed.
Do you know what,
basically got
right?
the powers, and he had the responsibility to do
The
with
best version of Spider-Man, in my opinion, was that cartoon. I can't remember what it was called. The Spectacular Spider-Man. You ever watched that one?
it. Yeah, is that the 70s? The one
No. It's called
It's
the
the one with
Spectacular
no-
Spider-Man.
No,
Had
is
Gwen-
that the one with Nova and
No. It's cartoon. It's a cartoon.
yeah? They did the cartoon with Spider-Man, and Nova was in it, and there was
Oh, was
two
it?
others. I can't
That's
remember
right.
the other two.
I
But-
thought that was well done. personally.
So
I
let me
probably
interrupt.
got it. I just can't remember.
I found the book I was looking for. You showed that. Now you might like this, Father Miller. This is actually the main character. This is a Catholic priest.
Okay, sorry, I just was thinking this before I got too far off.
I'm not here. He's saying Peter, and it's got Spider-Man. It's crazy.
So this is the
Is this
Sorrentino.
Brightburn?
This is Gideon Falls, and this is
Oh, okay.
it centers around a Catholic priest going to a town called Gideon Falls to investigate something that's going on because there's a priest missing. Well, he turns out to be murdered, and there's this imagery of this black barn, and it's
wonderful.
very spooky.
Oh.
And the book creeped me out, and I don't get creeped out right away, but like this was the image one night. I'm
Gotta
reading the
say hi
book.
real quick. Gotta say hi to Tina. Tina's
Hey,
in the
Tina.
chat. Tina is one of Odin's mods.
Oh, okay.
So good to see you, Tina.
Well, here, this is the image that made me go to bed early. Was this the preview of the bad guy? It was just the eyes and the teeth, and
Wow.
it creeped me out. The whole book is it's very supernatural dark, and it goes off the rails for a while. But if you want to read that book about the monkey and the dogs coming back, the team up of Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino is fantastic. They're really good. The book is very it's not drawn like a traditional comic. You should use the whole page. It'll drift into other pages. It's really good. I always recommend picking up their books. They also did a Joker story where he basically manipulates some guy. It's not even about the Joker. The guy in prison that he cons basically, or he warps his brain and manipulates him. It's a whole psychological thriller, which they're really good at doing.
I love it when they take a main character and it branches off to another character. I mean, and they do it very well. As I said, like in Marvels, it wasn't about the actual superheroes in that world. It was about that reporter that he basically went through everything. He was a photographer in World War II, and he Captain America and blah blah blah. It was about his life, how he how all the normal people was affected by what all these superheroes were doing and stuff like that. So it was basically from the point of view of a normal person that lived in the world where superheroes lived, and it's a fantastic graphic novel as far as I was concerned. They should really make that into a movie.
Did you see the TV show very similar to that? I think it was called Power. It was the
Power.
one.
Yeah, I only saw one episode.
Alan
Enough for me.
Tudyk, and it was one of those ones you're sitting there thinking.
It was meant to be a comedy.
It's meant to be a comedy. I like
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk, so I watched them all, and it was still getting worse. And I'm still going.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Next, I still
Yeah,
watched
exactly. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
very
man.
good at all.
it. I know.
But
It
is
was
this
the
newest
idea.
show?
It's the same idea. They get a good idea, and they just don't know how to do it, which is
Well,
unfortunate.
Yeah, you need someone that knows what they're doing
Yeah.
and loves the material and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Because you think about it, a world where superheroes were and supervillains were real. How scary would that be for us normal
well,
people?
that's The Boys, isn't it? You ever watch The Boys?
I didn't like it. Too dark for me.
Yeah, it
I
was
just
very,
didn't
very,
like
very
it. I
dark,
watched
yeah.
it because Carol Urban was in it, but after the first couple of episodes, I thought, no, I want my superheroes to be good. I want my supervillains to be bad. I don't care about the mix. No, I'm very strict in my superheroes. And
You know,
supervillains.
they kind of tackled that in John Byrne's X-Men in the 90s, where
They
it was
did,
it was very similar to an X-Men style group of kids who had powers, but when they were engaged by other like bad guys, you know, like one woman was indestructible, and some guy tries to grab her by the hair, and she pulls her head, and her hair cuts through all of his fingers, just cuts his fingers off. So, or the guy who can see, he has like X-ray vision, but his eyes end up going crazy, like they're all melted around the eye, and it's just, you know, the guy who the super strong guy, he couldn't feel anything. He was so strong. Or it was or the kid who could run really fast, he couldn't wear any shoes, so he spent like a whole montage page of pounding different materials with his feet until he could actually run on his bare feet that fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was they addressed it. There's a couple comics that have addressed realism like that, but of course they never go to full Monty and really talk about what it's like to have, you know, people with powers in the real world and how they would, you know, apply them if there was nothing to do that was super. Say everybody that had powers was good and there were no super criminals. What would
But
you
you
do
know
if
what, right?
that
You know
power-
what, right? Superman should always be portrayed as the do-gooder, as the one person that everybody looks up to. He'll never be evil. He'll never, even in his last breath, he'll never turn to the dark side at all. And I hate it the way they portray Superman today, where he's just like dark and Batman. Yes, Batman is like that, but Superman should stand for, truth, justice, and the American way, in my opinion.
Yeah, but for the simple
he's a
fact
bully
that
here.
he's so powerful, the only thing that's keeping him
He's
in
a
check
bully,
is him.
Yeah.
It's the only thing keeping him in check is him, and that's what you want. You don't want to actually think, oh well, he could go that way. No, he can't. He shouldn't.
Zack Snyder did the bad job on Man of Steel and Superman. He got the whole tone of Superman wrong. I mean, obviously,
Henry Cavill, I thought he was very genuine and farm boyish.
no disrespect to Henry Cavill. He's a perfect Superman for today, but the whole tone of the movie was wrong.
Okay.
I still will go back to the Donna who made Superman the way he was in the comics that I like. But as I said, I don't, just like when Superman versus Batman was dark and Superman was dark. What was the difference? It was just stupid, wasn't it? And they still didn't address the whole thing about Clark Kent. I mean, you can see Clark Kent is Superman. Why comes everybody doesn't see that? It makes no sense. If I was making a Superman film, I'd try and address that, but also try and make him the way he was in the 70s, the way everybody knows Superman is, not this dark crap. And don't even talk to me about when he didn't save his father through the tornado and all that rubbish that they put in there. I was like, what the hell is that all about?
I'm waiting for the next issue of Rebecca Superman.
What? Really?
And we got one of those that dealt with what you're talking about. Let's see if I can bring it up.
What's that?
Oh, about how Superman, they should know that he's Superman.
Yeah, they should, shouldn't they?
I should pick this one up recently.
He's such a jerk in those books.
Excellent.
Why isn't my laundry done, or whatever he said?
Oh, so funny.
Well, that's why I've been collecting them. I
Well,
did
you know-
finally get the one. Let me see if I can bring that one up. I know I showed it before. The one where he's snapping her air hose.
Oh yeah.
It's the same as see, like, when they try and retcon reasons why people don't recognize Clark as Superman, and it's all, well, his glasses have got a perception filter.
That's just
Yeah, that's a load of rubbish because
But you know what I would do if I made a Superman movie? I'd do what they did with Captain America. I would somehow try and explain that he looks very different when he's Clark Kent, and then when he's Superman, he looks completely different. Try and explain that physically he looks very different to Superman. Do you know what I mean? I'll try and fit that into it because I think it's the only way you could actually make it work.
they try to do it with the Donner one where I'm making because he's very looking weedy and he was leaning over and stuff
Yeah,
like
but
that.
I
So they were
brought into
trying
that
to-
though.
Yeah, because they were trying to actually make him look different, and it's just the way he stood, the way he held himself. People just didn't see. Yeah, he might look like someone else, but the whole demeanor was just not that person. So they just didn't see Clark in that, and I thought they did it well in that respect.
Superman a jerk. Why is he doing that to Lois Lane?
I picked this one up in Vegas.
Well, Superman was he turned into a jerk for a little bit in Superman 3 in the movie.
Yeah.
That was actually kind of surreal for me as a
Yeah.
kid to watch him act like a jerk and flick peanuts in the mirrors and drink booze. I was like, what is this? This isn't Superman.
Straighten the Tower of Pisa, blow out the Olympic flame.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, yeah, we push this tower back. What's up?
I think the Silkines made a huge mistake by not getting Richard Donner back to direct the rest of them because it just went into camp territory. Superman.
Yeah,
when
well,
he left.
I
See,
guess
if you're talking about camp, it has to be the Batman 66. That is camp. But that was comic book camp. See, when I was young watching that, all I could remember was that looked like the comic books that I was reading. And that's why I liked it. And I still like it because of that, because it reminds me of the comic books, the colours, the everything.
What are you going to say, Max?
No,
Max, what are you going to say?
I was going to say the Silken. I guess the Silkins were just very, very difficult to work with. I mean, what's her name?
Who? Lois Lane?
Margot Kidder. Yeah. Margot Kidder had an argument with him. That's why she wasn't on the third movie. That I think Terrence Stamp had an argument with him, and that's why he wasn't in. So people just had arguments with him.
They didn't know. They didn't know the film process.
Yeah,
that was their problem, and they were expecting what's his name, Richard Donner, to do miracles when Richard Donner had to take time doing the film. Look how beautiful it looks. Look at the photography in the first movie, and look how fantastic they made him fly. You get to the second one, it has a bit of that, but it's still rough around the edges. The second one, because Richard Lester is not Richard Donner. Do you know what I mean? He was shooting things really fast.
Well,
and
Superman
then the third
1 and
one,
2, they were the same movie. Like he shot Superman 2 while he was shooting 1, wasn't it?
But for Richard Lester to get a director's credit, he had to reshoot. I think it was 75% or 80% of the movie again. So most of Richard Donner's stuff got thrown out. So that's why it looks rough with mixture with Richard Donner stuff, 25%, and a lot of Richard Lester's stuff. That's why it looked rough as shit. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, whatever. That's the past. Yeah. So,
which is why the Donner cut is so.
I haven't seen a Donner cut, but I'd like to see it. I'll probably see it one day. But yeah, I mean Lois Lane, right? She's meant to be a real looker, isn't she, Lois Lane?
You know, let's talk about your relationship with Lois, Father Miller. This is becoming an obsession. I think we need to have
Hey,
an
I'll
event.
show you the other one I like. Let's see if I can find.
You know, all the nuns in this parish are called Lois. He just calls them, bring up their names. Don't matter. Just calls them all Lois.
Jimmy Olsen.
Lois, I'm Sarah. No, it's Lois.
See, to me, Jimmy's a wee weedy nerd. He's not as big buff guy. Actually turns into a superhero. He's basically, it doesn't matter. They could have had someone like what's his name? If they wanted to go down the route of colour changing Jimmy Olsen, they could have got ones that looked small and weedy. I'm trying to what's the guy that was in Community?
It should be.
Daniel Glover.
You imagine him playing the Jimmy Olsen in that? That would have been a lot better because he's smaller and he looks as if he could be the wee.
No, it should be
photographer.
against the law to change the.
No, but I'm saying if they decided to,
Yeah.
but if they decided that's what they were going to do, they want to cast. They didn't need to cast this big buff guy. That was the one thing I thought that doesn't work. Doesn't matter else. If they decided they wanted to change it, then get someone who's small and he looks like he's a wee photographer, the wee guy. That would have worked.
I mean, Jimmy Olsen is a rescue maven. I mean, you know, that's what he's there for.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the gingers didn't come out against the race change for the show. I mean, you know, redhead ginger boys are they're what do you call it?
Redhead ginger across the board. Boys and girls are actually getting changed out. You look at a Little Mermaid.
They're a minority. Why would you change that? That's tradition.
All right, I'm going to say what happens in the future when the white people become a minority.
They're not going to.
They'll never call us that.
You know,
no, they'll never become a minority. Do you know what I mean? I'm hoping that future will have, you know, a better equality between sexes and also races. That's what I'm hoping for.
We had that with the X-Men, but nobody recognizes that anymore.
No, well, I don't want to think of that future. You know,
we got Dan from the Spacebook here. Good to see you,
Dan.
Dan.
Hello.
Also, gotta say hi. We had Master of the TDS, who Max and I got to meet at Vegas. Good to see you.
Hail, everybody.
So I said I picked up an extra poster for Justin, which I just mailed yesterday, so he should be getting it Monday, hopefully. So it had to survive the plane trip. The what?
Superman being a jerk again.
I love Superman as a jerk.
That's all it is. A Superman jerk. Lois needs a man.
Comics are awesome.
But you know what, guys? I've got a question for all of you. If you were going to make a Superman film, right? First of all, who would you? I'm not talking about casting Superman. Who would you cast as Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, and Perry White?
Ooh, I got a good Jimmy Olsen.
Go on, then.
Bill Burr.
Bill
Because he's frail and weak, but he's got a big mouth, and he'd get himself into a lot of trouble. I
think Bill Burr be better as Perry White.
See, that's what I was thinking as soon as you said Bill Burr. I was thinking,
and I hate the guy, but Pete Davidson might be a more of a Jimmy Olsen.
Oh yeah. Small.
Who do you think nowadays is the modern Lois Lane, though? You know.
Yeah, who would you cast as Lois Lane? That's the question. Because she has to be, for me, she has to be a looker, you know, gorgeous, you know, brunette.
But intelligent.
Intelligent
looking.
Who would you cast today?
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams, yeah, that's a really good choice.
See, I've not even. It's not a subject I've ever thought about. But see, I actually try to put name. I can't even think of a single one for it.
Scarlett Johansson.
Dan might have a winner here.
Dakota Fanning.
Well, Anna Kendrick now. Yeah, she has to smile the whole time though, because she's got a terrible resting B face.
If we can stick to
and then
their
he
race,
loses his goodness by saying that. No.
I'll be glad to, yeah.
If we were looking at historical figures for them, I know how I would choose about all the historical actors.
You know who I'd cast as Perry White? Hugh Laurie. I'd cast. It'd be
maybe
good.
That could work.
Yeah, that could work. I think he'd be really good.
Would have to be Jimmy Olsen. That would work. That
would be terrific.
Simon Pegg would make a pretty good Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, he'd have to have his own show. That would be the Jimmy Olsen show, and then Superman at the end saves him like every episode.
But I think he's a lot. I think he's too old to play Jimmy Olsen now. Maybe like 10 years back.
But if you're looking at your perfect casting from actors and actresses throughout, what would you class? See, to me, Lois Lane would be Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn's gorgeous.
Yeah, you imagine a Audrey Hepburn, Lois Lane.
Lois Lane is always getting into trouble, and Hepburn seems too independent.
Yeah. The one from the
but
first
you look at
great
early
to me.
stuff, she was very comic, so you could see her doing that.
Don't tell me you're going to cast Humphrey Bogart as Superman.
No.
I don't know.
How about Jennifer Jason Leigh from from Hudsucker Proxy.
Yeah, she's good. She's a really good actress. That one.
Jennifer
But I don't think
Connelly. Jennifer Connelly might make a good Lois too.
Jennifer Connelly. Oh, when she was in her prime, she
Yeah.
was
Well, she,
amazing.
even though she's older now, she actually would make a good Lois at this current age that she's at, because she's a looker, she's intelligent, and she looks the part. I think, inquisitive journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't need to be in their late 20s, 30s. You know what I mean? You could have Superman and Lois, even, I wouldn't say old, but slightly older, and it would work just as well.
I think my General Zod would have to be the guy from Avatar and the Conan movie, the bad guy.
The guy with the big stogie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never saw Avatar.
No.
The Blue People movie? It's pretty good.
Oh, did you see there was a trailer out for some game, Uncharted? There's a trailer out for basically they just did a fanfic. It's not a trailer, it was a fanfic, and he was in that. So he was, and that was good. I would need to actually see if I could dig out the link. One of my friends sent it to me, just says, here, check this out. And I thought, Uncharted, it's a computer game, isn't it? Not interested. And I got really right into it. It's
Yeah,
basically, and I'm sitting there thinking, I want to see that movie. Then I realised it wasn't a trailer, it was a fanfic. But it was actually the act. It's although it's classed as a fanfic, it basically the actors and actresses in it were actual recognisable actors and actresses. I was very surprised at it.
My daughter had me watch something. It was a PlayStation game that one of the guys, Jacksepticeye, was doing one of those playthroughs, and it was a game that you basically just made choices, but the entire cast of the game were actual actors and actresses that were in the game as themselves, but they were playing characters, and it's killing me. It's about robots that develop souls and become living things. And it's killing me that I can't remember what it was, but I watched every episode where we watched the entire game played through together because it was like watching the movie, even though it had commentary and the guy was making his choices for the characters, but it was still a lot of fun to watch. But on the subject of movies, I don't know if anybody else has been to the theater this weekend.
Gee, I wonder
saw-
what this is.
I can't help it. I saw Free Guy and it was phenomenal. It was the
Me
best
too.
time I
Me
had in a
too.
theater in a long time, and I'm talking about Endgame too. I mean, there were Easter eggs and cameos in this movie towards
There was,
the end
yeah.
that made my daughter and I both go like this. Like,
Yeah.
we're like screaming at the screen, go, oh my God. And I won't spoil it because it's too good to spoil. It's too
It's a good film. It's worth your time if you,
It
if
is.
you ever get a chance. It's
And
worth
it's
your
less Ready Player One and more Truman Show meets Tron
Yeah.
when it comes to the plot.
See, that sounds good because I liked the book Ready Player One, hated the movie. The
Yeah, I've heard
movie
that a
was
lot.
fantastic.
I've heard that a lot from people.
Yeah.
I never read the book. So.
Stephen Lang is the guy you were thinking about. Was the guy with the stogie? Is that
Oh
not
yeah,
Stephen Lang?
yeah, Stephen Lang, yeah.
Yeah, he's in that, and it's Nathan Fillion was in it. I put it in the private chat.
Nathan Fillion, yes, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
It's
Fantastic.
the Uncharted live action fan film 2018 with Nathan Fillion.
Oh, the thing is that if it's a fan film, how do they pay for those actors?
Yeah,
You know,
But
I mean,
You
I
would
don't
be
know,
surprised.
but basically it set it up that they could have done more. It just looked amazing. I would have loved to have seen the movie of it.
I know they
it
did,
sets it up, and it is so well done.
I know they did a fan film of Punisher with the first guy that played the Punisher. Can't remember his
Dolph
name.
Lundgren?
No,
Dolph Lundgren?
the other one after him.
Thomas
after-
Jane.
Thomas Jane. They did a fan film, Thomas Jane, with as the Punisher, and that one was quite good. It was a short, and that one was quite. I don't understand how they can get the actor. They may know him or something, or
Yeah.
do they go for his agent, or how
Well,
do they
he's
do
pretty
that?
easy going. He did a bit part in Scott Pilgrim Saves the World. He was one of the vegan police. So
Yeah.
it's not unknown for Thomas to do a part. And honestly, I love that about actors when they're not putting themselves on a pedestal and they're willing to, do a movie. Like we did a fan film back in 2001 called The Formula, which was a Star Wars film about friends who wanted to make a Star Wars fan film. And I would love to do a sequel to that because the whole premise of that movie was the main character was traumatized by episode 1 not living up to his expectations, and there's a whole diatribe about that. It was a pretty good, well-written movie. I would love to see a sequel to that being done where Star Wars now has been ruined
Disney.
for that same character.
Yeah,
And his only goal is he starts celebrating like Gina Carano, and then he goes to the con, and then the whole movie ends with him turning around and she's standing right there, and get Gina to do a cameo in that fan film. I wish I was still in contact with it was Chris Hannell and our friend Steve Phelan, PH, who did the movie, and they were fantastic. And I would love to reapproach that again and put that together.
It's almost like the movie Fanboys. I would like to see that remade now, with them going to destroy, try to go and find the prints to destroy them now, rather than the way it was.
Did they not do that in that cartoon? What was it? What was it called? Oh God, they did that in that cartoon, didn't they? With Trey Parker's cartoon.
South Park.
They did South Park. They did.
I didn't see it. So.
Was that the one where they were having the horrible rape scenes where Lucas and Spielberg were abusing all their characters? Oh my gosh!
They basically they started off with putting new bits in films, like putting new
traumatizing
characters and stuff, and they decided to storm Lucas's house and burn all those prints and stuff like that. It was quite funny. It was a quite funny episode. So yeah. I like when they do characters in South Park, because they don't even care about trying to imitate their voices. they just do the voice anyway.
There are some characters. I go back and watch these newer episodes. I don't watch it regularly, but I'll catch one. And like they did, who was the Olympian who had the lifestyle change? Jenner.
Yeah.
And they just portray him as a cross-eyed person where his tongue hangs out his mouth because he's got a muscle control, and he ends up running over homeless people in every episode. All he does is drive a car and run people out. It's like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever, but it makes me laugh every time I see it.
So I gotta say, I've been to Casa Bonita before. I was excited to hear that the guys from South Park bought it. Hopefully they will improve the food. The food sucks. But
hopefully they don't change the decor to a South Park town in every restaurant.
But I mean, it was a fun experience. I mean, I went there because of the episode, and they just bought it for $900 million, I guess.
Wow!
How much was the deal they signed for?
I think they got a 9-movie deal for like $100-something million. But I think they bought the restaurant for $900,000.
Wow.
Oh, it was a single restaurant. It wasn't a chain.
No.
I'm sorry. I misread the article.
900 million.
They bought
one restaurant for $900 million, Father.
Yeah,
that's got.
They got it after a $900 million deal.
A deal. They had the deal. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a 9-movie deal. 9-movie deal with Paramount, and they're going to get $100-something million.
But what are they going to be making though? How many? What are they going to be making?
Doesn't matter. They're gold. Everything they write, it's prophetic. Their shows are so ridiculous, but some of those episodes, the message is so incredibly intelligent. You're like, wow, that really makes absolute sense. But it was taught to me in the most ridiculous fashion.
Yeah.
They're going to make one about meatballs.
And we'll leave it right there.
I mean, it really is. It really is. I mean, their work pretty well. Their work stands the test of time pretty well.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
We still watch the original South Park Christmas episode with all the songs as a tradition with my children. They're all teenagers now, so we sang the dreidel song. And I remember there was a great story about the when Mr. Garrison starts touring the world. Hey there, Mr. Shintoist, Merry Christmas. And a buddy of mine was working at Best Buy, and that album had come out, and somebody had chose the music for the day, but they weren't paying attention. And when the store opened at 10 a.m., over the loudspeakers throughout the entire building, people were walking into, hey there, Mr. Shintoist, Merry effing
Christmas.
And he said you could just see Best Buy blue shirts running across the store trying to get to the player to shut off the music. I used to play the movie in the store. We play it. They dubbed South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. They dubbed that. Oddly enough, they dubbed it in French. The entire movie was done professionally in French, so I would play that in my comic store on the TV, but I'd play it in French so you couldn't understand any of the swear words, and it just made me smile all day.
I do miss the days of Blockbuster Video, to tell you the truth.
Yes. I don't. That was always late. Always late. Never returned the movie on time. Not once. I probably paid for half the movies that I rented.
It's kind to rewind, mate.
Yeah.
It's kind
see one of the things when you're talking about
90%. 90% of the time, those rewind fees were pocketed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guarantee
Sorry
it.
about that.
But do you see the one thing I remember? I remember one of the first superhero movies I saw on video.
What was that?
It was called This Superman. It was a Turkish movie.
Oh, I think I've seen that one.
That's the one about the three guys in the red outfit. And the army
No.
are trying to get the outfits because they think that's what's making them super. So they manage to get one of the outfits and they've got a soldier standing like that. And a guy comes up with a machine gun and shoots him. The guy stands like that and goes, "Doink." And they said, "Nope, it's not the suit."
That's great. That's great.
And it's just, I still remember it. And that's basically because it was the first superhero one I saw in video. And it was Turkish
what?
and it was dubbed. And it was hilarious.
I'm going to test you guys now, right? So let's see how old you are. Do you remember Bud Spencer and Terence Hill?
Oh, yeah, Trinity. I've got Trinity.
Funny that you mention it.
I've got Trinity. So I have.
Have you?
I've got Trinity. They call me Trinity, and Trinity saw my name. I've got a lot of the stuff.
When I was growing up, they used to there used to be a cinema near me, and they used to show double features together, and it was always Bud Spencer and Terence Hill films together with a Disney cartoon and something like that. And I loved those two when I was a kid. I thought they were really funny, those two. I don't know if do you know them? Anyone know them? Apart from
I'm
It sounds
showing you
familiar, but I don't
one
remember
of
seeing
his-
anything.
Showing
Sorry?
you Super Fuzz he was in.
Yes. These two were like Lauren Hardy, basically, but action. And it was a comedy. They did loads of films, these two together. The first one was My Name is Trinity? I don't know, PJ.
Yeah.
What was that was their first film. And then they just kept making films and they made a crap load of money, those two. The first one I saw them in was a film called Watch Out, We're Mad. And they're like Lauren Hardy, but they're really, really tough, basically.
Super Fuzz.
You guys never heard of them? They're
I
huge
have.
stars. You have, all right. They were huge
Well,
stars at the time.
Terrence Hill is in an Italian drama where he plays the parish priest.
Yes, yeah. But there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
So-
they call
so-
it Trinity.
Bud
So
Spencer
Justin-
and Terence Hill are great.
But
They've
one
done
of them
so
had
many.
Henry Fonda.
Look it up, Justin. Look it up, mate. Look it up. Seriously, you won't regret it. The films
Yeah,
are so
they-
stupid and fun. It's
They,
just ridiculous.
they do a lot, but the best ones are the two Trinity movies.
Yes. Yeah.
They call me Trinity, and Trinity's still my name. The right
Oh, I'm
hand
sorry,
and the
it's-
left hand of the devil, they call themselves because they're fascists, but they look like tramps. Basically, they're gunfighters. That's it. It's just
No, it's My Name is
fun.
Nobody with Henry Fonda.
Oh, that's good as well. He's basically Terence
Husband
Hill
to the
in that
Beast.
one. Yeah,
Husband to the
He's
beast.
I'm quite disappointed that only me and PJ and the father knows.
The name sounds
All
familiar,
right.
but I've
Terence
seen
Hill.
a billion things. I probably might have missed out on that one.
Super
Yeah.
Fuzz used to be on HBO all the time as a kid.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I gotta check out. I'm going to go
All right,
car
Max.
shopping. Please
Okay.
pray for
Good
me.
to see you, Max.
You're going what shopping?
I'm going car shopping.
Oh,
Dude, I have a good friend in the Toyota business right now, and he says that stock on vehicles is so hard to come by because they can't get
Yeah.
the chips.
I'll
For
tell
the
you what.
I know. I'm going
Right.
used car shopping, so pray for me.
Oh, use that. Sorry, mine's just new.
Dude, they're all marked up. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I
Like-
say pray for
Have you
me.
considered a bicycle?
The loads of humor in this room.
You can get the little
Let's
springs
drive
up
down
like
the
little
docks.
moped, like Deadpool, and just drive around it like Deadpool in your little Vespa.
Oh, you guys are so funny.
Good luck.
All right, see you guys
Take
later.
care, Max.
See you later.
Right.
Another member of the Hair Club for Men, Derek.
Hello, Derek.
How are you, Derek?
Hi, folks.
How you doing?
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Don't worry, fella. I've wrote a special note that says don't swear and talk slowly.
Good man.
Just to remind myself.
Good man. I have to get the church lady clip uploaded to this so that I can do it on. I gotta do I'm gonna try to play with OBS next week, trying to figure out how to do some of the little, like Drunk does with the little clips.
Just have her pop up on the screen every time someone cusses.
Eric,
Pretty
Eric,
much.
when you see wearing the scream, the father makes you wear that.
Or you been hiding that this whole time, PJ?
I've kept it with my wife. It's the show's bridal. Just don't tell her I said that.
So we have no title card yet.
Happy
okay.
wife, happy life.
Or-
Exactly.
Yes, that's why I'm always happy she's gave me this man cave. And the locks on the outside.
When she wants you, she unlocks it.
My wife doesn't know I'm here right now, so let's just keep this on the DL.
Yes. All right, I'm just checking to see if it's popped up on my screen.
What, the title card? I haven't seen it yet.
No, it's not popped up on mine either.
I usually try and catch it the next day.
I know what I was going to show. They had a really good title card. Or somebody made a title card for it. Let me see. Hold on.
On his birthday, he went his time. I think it
I
was
saw
2 o'clock
that.
in the
That
morning,
was
3 o'clock in the
nuts.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gave him some money because it was his birthday. So I donated some money. So good chap, Gary. He's a very good chap.
Yep.
A little bit of drama coming out of there I saw on the Nerdrotic Facebook page. Not that I want to talk about it, just saw it.
No,
I haven't seen it.
I was talking to Ian about it before we went live. I think it happened on Saturday, and honestly, I didn't really witness anything.
You were no witness. Damn it.
Oh, that was the thing. The first time he says he doesn't normally get
I kind of
annoyed.
padre.
I always say,
Dan.
Hello.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, hello.
Dan.
Good,
Hello.
good
Good to see you,
evening
Dan.
or good afternoon to everybody. It's good to see you too, mate. I'm glad you made it back in one piece
Yeah.
from Vegas. Great, yeah. I saw
It was worth it.
I saw some of the pictures, saw some of the videos. Even it did look like it was a party not to be missed. Which
Yeah.
myself and Ian, well, we bloody missed it, didn't we?
We did.
we did.
It's
We
good to
did.
see- I recognise most
But I
of
mean,
you.
it was
Eric,
really
good to see you.
neat because I mean, you got to meet a lot. Got to meet Eric K. Met George Moyola. Can't say his name.
Moyo.
He's the one that drops. He
Yeah.
drops the big
Moy-
super chats.
Moilo.
Justin Army. Some of the people that are in the chat here, if they're still watching, like Man of War, Nick Weiser, Met Comics Division. Again, it was just so many people. Chris P. Truck Dog was there with Apollo's Minion.
Oh, was Chris there as well?
No, not Chris Persia.
Oh, okay.
Crispy.
No, I don't know who Chris. Oh, Crispy. I get it.
No, Chris.
How you like,
the letter
how you like
P.
your duck?
The letter P. Yeah.
Oh,
It's your lack of accent, my Scottish brogue sort of carries that word.
so how are we getting on? Have we found anybody who'd make a good Jimmy Olsen yet?
No.
No.
No. We have to find
basically,
someone who's ginger.
Yeah, the problem is everybody in Hollywood at the moment is just so weak that they wouldn't actually be strong enough to play Jimmy.
I still want Bill Burr to be Jimmy Olsen.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could have equal opportunities for the over 40s. I like that. You could have a 40-year-old cop reporter.
He could rant about his terrible job for 25 minutes, and the other show Superman could save him from whatever it was he was mad about.
Because you don't have to disclose your age now on an application form, do you?
But the
No, you
problem
can
is
identify
that-
as the age you want, I hear.
yeah, but the problem is that that photographers are getting, their jobs made redundant now because everybody's got a phone and they
This
take
is true.
photos.
Well,
with
maybe
their
he's
phone.
a PI who does catch your wife cheating
Oh, yeah.
photos, and then he sells photos to the paper as well on the side. He's got multiple jobs to get in trouble.
That's why it doesn't work with Spider-Man anymore because obviously everybody's got a phone and they can take pictures of Spider-Man wherever it is. So, him talking to JJ about taking photographs of Spider-Man just doesn't work.
Yeah,
Well, he
that's
did
why
live in
when
Egypt
they
for a
actually
while.
try and modernise it, it doesn't work. It has to be set in the time, or else,
Yeah.
as you said, it just doesn't work. When-
Exactly. Exactly.
Is this the,
Has to be time relative.
yeah.
That is the epitome of poor taste right now.
I love what they've done.
And Straight Girl was there, and she was
Yes.
she was a thrill to meet.
That's great.
Yeah, it's just what they've done with the extra girl.
I think I figured out the perfect person to play Jimmy Olsen in a new Superman movie.
Who's that?
Ryan.
He's got the ginger hair. He's in the States. Prince Harry. Of course, it's got to be Prince Harry. Got a bit of time in his hands.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Hazza for Jimmy. I'm down for that.
So Man of War
Yeah,
has
but the
more
big
to say.
difference is we actually like Jimmy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So Man of War says he was there Saturday night. Didn't see anything of what's been said, nor does he care, nor do I. Again, I'm a fan of Jeff Hicks and his channel World Class BS.
Oh, love Jeff Hicks.
But But Jake D was there too, and he said he didn't witness anything. So, I mean, the whole thing was about Geeks and Gamers and Friday Night Tights. It was a meetup with the two groups.
Yeah.
And if there were others there like myself, Culture Casino was there. We weren't there for ourselves. I don't know what she did.
Yep.
I can't judge her or anything.
Oh, was there drama?
Well, she was signing autographs, but that was just because fans wanted to meet her, from what I understand.
Yeah, but everybody else was signing autographs. I mean, George was being asked to sign autographs.
Yeah,
Did you
People
sign
that weren't on the
autograph,
poster was being asked.
yeah. George, it was his book. He said that people were actually coming up with his book and asked them to sign it, so which was really nice.
Well, next year we'll be there, right? Well, we'll
Fingers
try.
crossed.
We'll
Can you
try.
imagine? Just imagine, Ian, the pair of us bursting in on you guys. My God. You're
Yeah,
not going to
well, I'm going to be hiding behind
Yeah.
Gary's beard or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
No,
mean?
the OnlyFans
Now,
is shut
I
down. I'll
gotta
not have
say-
the money.
I did get a hug from Ryan.
Well, I wouldn't boast
Was it
about
hot? Did it burn?
That's only
Did you
because
get checks
Father
for
he was.
anything afterward?
Yeah.
Well, he had been drinking.
Yeah. The only reason they gave you a hug, Father, is so he could swear at the person behind you.
Ah, yeah.
So since
Oh,
I got
dear,
a number of UK people here, I got to see if I can find the.
See, there was no
See if you
UK
guys-
people there.
No, this is a great
Nah,
shame.
but
And
it was too
as
short
you
notice,
know,
Ian. I mean, how did any of us go?
as you
You had to
know,
dump
Ian,
thousands.
Yeah. Sorry, were you saying?
Oh, I've seen this. I know what this is.
So, what are the thoughts on
haven't.
this?
I want to watch.
Oh,
I
God.
found
Devil.
being a royalist, I didn't like it at all.
Oh,
Yeah, I
right,
watched
okay.
about 2 episodes, and that was enough for me.
This is an actual show.
Yeah,
Yes.
apparently
Yeah,
so.
It's about Prince George.
Whoa,
Oh,
and
God.
they've allowed this. It's actually about Prince George.
Yes, exactly. That's
Well, it
why
made
I
some
thought-
controversy because it was made before Prince Philip died,
Oh,
and
okay.
he does not look very good in this one.
I don't know if I approve of this. It's a
I-
child at the end of it.
Exactly. He's basically someone, a kid that's 6 and he's basically being used. The part they're taking the mickey to these two, yes, no problem.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah. If this was my kid, I would not be happy. Let's put it that way. And they're still people.
Yeah, it kind of violates that rule, doesn't it? You don't pick on the kids. You only pick on the parents.
I
Yeah.
feel so. Yeah. I mean, is it satirical? This is it
Yes.
more sort
It
of
is,
like a
but
Family Guy kind?
like I said, I just didn't care for it.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
it
Queen
does
comes
look-
off as a little profane.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm sure it's not meant to paint them in a wonderful light. They don't usually have these shows to do that.
Great cast. How they've managed to get them. I
I don't know. This doesn't look good at all.
No, I saw the clip of it and I just said, nope.
I do believe you're offending everybody.
No. I mean, Spitting Image was funny when Spitting
Yeah.
Image.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
man,
what I mean.
that gave me nightmares.
They used to draw a line at the kids, didn't they?
Yeah,
They did, yeah.
They never did the kids.
That was
When
all
Prince
celebrities, wasn't it?
when
But-
Prince
and even-
William and
even-
Prince Harry were little,
Yeah,
they
even
never
when they
did
did the royals, although they were being satirical, they weren't being disrespectful.
No, they weren't.
Because
yeah.
you look at they
Original-
did with the Queen Mother. They
You're talking
always
about the
she
original
was-
Spitting Image
Yeah.
from back in
yeah.
the 80s.
yes,
Okay.
with Chris Barry
Mhm.
from
Well,
Red
loads
Dwarf.
of stars did voices on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, loads of stars. But
Well,
the
yeah.
thing is though, they weren't. They were never disrespectful. As
Exactly.
PJ was saying. So
It was
still
more of a
just-
caricature show of,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
for instance, you imagine now if they did it now, they would have the Queen Mother wear gin and stuff like that, probably out of a paper covered bottle. Whereas then it was the tea and stuff like that, but it was still
Yeah.
a case of she was
Yeah.
a wee old.
Mm.
What you doing? Get out of there! That type of things. If she was an ordinary wee old gossip wife, but they didn't actually. It wasn't disrespectful. It was humorous. A
But
play
the
on
royals
it.
hated it though, didn't
Yes.
they? The royals hated it.
Yeah,
Princess
they
Di
did,
loved it. Princess Di loved it because she.
I have a
took
few
the mickey
stories
out of
about the
them.
royal family.
Mm.
If
Yeah.
you're interested.
I've
I'm
become a
interested.
born
Yeah.
again royalist. But,
My uncle was in the Ulster Defence Regiment from the day an Ireland was formed,
wow.
and he served his 22 years. And Prince Andrew was the patron, or the colonel in chief of the regiment.
Yep.
So he flew out to award the last 22 medals, to the people that served that time. And at the time, my cousin Timothy was a precocious young fella, about 9 years of age, and he was running around doing the whole thing. And Prince Andrew called over his aide, and he says, "Take this young man out," and he says, "Give him a flight in my helicopter."
Wow.
As nice as you like, not a problem.
Yeah.
So away Timothy went and got a ride in the helicopter. The only other one I ever met was whenever I was in the Royal Navy Reserve. And there's the Prince Michael. He's like some sort of second cousin. And to be honest, he'll turn up to the opening of the envelope because he's happy to be there. And the man's a drunkard. And I've met him twice. I met him once in the ship, HMS Caroline in Belfast. And then we had the 100 years anniversary of the Royal Navy Reserve Parade in Glasgow. And every time I seen him, he was as drunk as a monkey. He had two men beside him to actually literally hold him up because he was going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. But, there's no harm in them. I regard them just as clowns that are good for tourism.
Well, yeah, they did
know
bring
what
in
I'm
a lot
saying?
of money, didn't they? Yeah, they brought in a lot of money. And Prince Andrew, is it Andrew that's in trouble now with the
He's in big trouble.
Yeah.
For these few trips to the
Don't
island.
go to islands. The only islands you can visit and get away with confidence or credit is Jurassic Park. Any other island, forget about it.
Are there bad islands that we don't know about, like naughty islands he's not supposed to be at, or?
No. Anything that's an island, and we'll include things like
Possibly Ireland.
Britain.
Ireland's an island too.
Britain as well.
Yeah, he's definitely in trouble, though. I mean,
Yes.
Just a little. Well, back in the 80s, everybody, he was known as, and people forget this, this was obviously he was 30, 35 years younger than he is now, and he was known as Randy Andy back then.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah, I remember the term.
Yeah.
They've got this woman speaking out, haven't they?
That Kim Stutt girl or whatever she called her.
Yeah.
Although in his defense, he did go out to the Falklands War. He did fight in the Falklands War.
Well, did he?
Yeah, which most of the royal family don't ever see a war.
Yeah.
He wore the hat. He wore the helmet.
Yeah, he wore the stuff, but who knows if he was in danger
that's the one thing that I must admit I've heard
No,
about.
well, I was in the Navy for 12 years and I talked to people. And Andy got a wee bit uppity one night. He was on HMS Invincible. And they invited him out to the quarterdeck, the other pilots from the squadron, and they filled him in. Just to teach him a lesson.
Because I've heard that even right back to your Prince Philip, basically they served their time in the army because the royals didn't want people to see that they were above. They were in as everybody else, and that's
that was the thing at the time.
Yeah, but they still wanted to do that. That's why they had Harry and William actually join up and serve.
Well, Harry wanted to.
See, that's the thing too. You dig in
the military
to the records in the Mediterranean. Prince Philip was a big Navy fellow.
Yeah. Harry wanted to do it though, didn't he?
I was going to say
very much into it.
He was loved in this country.
Back in the day, Prince Philip was a big Navy fellow.
Yeah,
was.
And one of his comrades' destroyers was sunk, and they were fishing his friends out of the water. And we know Prince Philip's well known for his political incorrectness, and the man, because the ship had sunk and he was covered in oil, and they pulled him out. And he says, "You look like a black and white minstrel." 40s joke.
Well,
but he came straight out with it.
Yeah, well, as I said, it wouldn't be allowed today, I guess. But in those days,
no, definitely not.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? But I mean, Harry wanted to go and fight, didn't he? And he did, and he went out there. I mean,
no, he didn't. He had the problem. He had the second son problem that he had to show off.
Yeah,
and up until this last two years on Pleasantness, he did well. He was on top of the world.
Okay. He's not
he was a war hero.
Yeah,
married a beautiful woman.
Until they actually turn. Wait until they turn against him, and then they start showing the pictures of when he dressed up as a Nazi.
Yeah, wasn't he James Stewart's son?
They say. because he was.
Yeah,
he
that's
was,
what they basically.
And yeah, I
had.
did go down that road. I did. Go down
Do you know
that
the
road.
funny thing about James Hewitt? James Hewitt grew up about a mile that direction. His father was the constable for Limavady town, believe it or not. Because that's the living joke. If anything happens, it'll be a Limavady man's ruling fucking UK.
Tina,
Sorry,
if
fella.
Tina or Miss Martin
I
still
let one
watching,
slip
if you
in.
want to come and do your Tina or Miss Martin is still watching. You want to join us and rant about the whole, or the not the Holy Family, but the
royal
Balance
family.
out the man.
You're close. You were close.
we're not ranting about the Holy
Judean
Family.
slip. That's a Judean slip right there.
They're okay, the Royals. I mean, I'd never liked them though, but I don't have anything
They're
against
good for
them.
tourism, Ian. They're good for tourism.
I'm
Yeah.
a
I've
royalist,
become a
the same as my
born-again-
father.
Would you want them all in charge again? We could put them all in charge again. Would that be okay?
Only the
This country?
females.
I've
The
been
Compared to what
royal,
we
the
have right
royal
now,
over
family,
the last couple of years.
the royal family should be a matriarchy always. So it
Yeah.
should be.
I don't know. I would
Shouldn't it
love
be-
to have King George VI.
No, I think it should always be a matriarchy. I think
Why is that?
the female royals are more reserved and seem to have their heads screwed on better.
No, it's something to. It's a weird thing. I feel the same way because it's to serve at the behest of. This is going to sound kind of weird. The woman over the man to serve her as if you were in charge of taking care of and protecting. It's a protective nature, I think, when it comes to something like that. So you feel like, the queen, I will die for the queen. The king, well, he can pick up his own damn sword.
Yeah. It's the same idea. I would have preferred the first one to succession would have been Princess Anne. I think she would have.
But hold on,
better.
PJ. So when the Queen dies, who takes over?
It's meant to be Charles.
Charles.
However,
Charles.
it's I think he'll step
God
away
save
from it
us.
straight away, and it'll be.
I don't know.
He
It
wants
will be-
nothing to do with it.
No, you won't.
William?
Not a chance in hell.
It will be William. I think
Not
so.
gonna be part of that at all. I served you guys
Oh, we
long enough. Right?
We should have started talking about it sooner. Tina has to leave.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, but
Bye,
it's
Tina.
the only reason I think so is because Charles been waiting too long to step into his mother's shoes, and he's just too old now.
yeah. I don't know. I do like Charles though. I mean, for some
I
reason.
don't. Only
I
for the
mean-
simple fact is he is an adulterer, and I'm
Well,
sorry.
I mean,
yeah,
he's
I can't,
opened his
I
mouth
can't
on
get behind that.
environmental.
I
No one's
can't get
perfect.
behind that at all. Sorry, I
could
basically,
say.
as someone whose wife cheated on him, I would say
Sure.
no. I dislike anyone that does that. Completely.
Did you,
and utterly.
did you see the documentary, PJ, on they had the documentary on recently, and it was a conversation with Princess Diana at the time, and it was just all her words in this documentary. And you
My
know,
wife's seen it. She told us.
yeah, basically she was saying that Charles was in love with Camilla even when they were going to get married. She knew
Yes, he was.
that they were in love. Yeah,
They
He
were-
was with her the night. He was with her the night before the
Should
wedding.
have
It was the
married
family.
Camilla in the first place.
He should have been.
And
His
solved
family
all this
says
problem.
no,
Mm.
because his family decided no,
yeah,
basically because they needed a heir to the throne, and that
Yeah.
was it. So she was just a breeding mare, and that was it.
yeah. But even Princess Diana knew that,
Yes.
that the marriage was doomed even before they got married. She was hoping that it would resolve itself, but it didn't in the end.
Yeah. The simple fact is, if somebody's getting married just out of duty, not out of love, then
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
No, it didn't work. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But it's the way things are, I guess.
Yeah.
As I said, everybody's human, and he had his faults as well. But the thing is, though, and you can't question it, that he was definitely in love with Camilla. He wasn't in love with Diana at all. He
And he should
liked
just
her.
married her.
Exactly.
She didn't
Exactly.
fool her.
He should have done
Exactly.
what his uncle did
Mm.
and married the person he wanted to and stepped aside from responsibilities of the throne. Edward and Mrs. Simpson
Yes.
had been done, so why he couldn't do it? He was at
Yeah.
the point he was too busy thinking ahead. I want to be king.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So-
true.
So instead
Brilliant.
of that, he basically said he basically mucked up too many people's lives. And unfortunately, I can't get behind anybody that's an adulterer.
Mm.
Some very strong
Hello,
feelings
but
about that.
did you see that movie, The King's Speech?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they do period London in the 30s. and he's walking up the Strand or, up to Buckingham Palace, and, some Joe just asked him for a light.
Yeah.
And he sparks up a smoke. It just shows the difference in 100 years makes. That, the ordinary man in the street didn't realise that was a prince or whatever.
Well, go back 30, 40 years and actors. You could go along and see some really big actor sitting in a cafe or a pub, and people would go, "Oh, so." But now they wouldn't be able to do that because there would be too many people mobbing them.
It's true.
I met Rick Stein once, and I was like, "You're the boy who fries the fish," and he says, "I says I don't like fish," and I just walked off.
Peter Capaldi's the one I met. He used to drink the same pub as me in Glasgow. And basically, it was just a case of I'd recognised him from things like Rabsy Nesbitt and other bits and pieces, and it was a case of hi as I was walking past, and he chatted back. And it's literally 2-minute chat, and that was it. Just while I was standing getting a pint.
Is that Charles?
Yeah, this is Bloom County American comic from back in the 80s.
That's crazy.
But they had a good series. I'm trying to find the one where, I mean, again, this is hard to believe. It's almost 40 years old.
Prince Charles.
Shut up, fella. You're making me feel old.
I am old.
I'm saying
you have to make me feel. You have to make him feel old, to tell you that. But I tell you what, though, Princess Di. Oh my God, she was gorgeous, wasn't she?
Yep.
Some of those outfits she wore, some of them were terrible, but some of them really did bring her
never
out.
done anything for me. I don't.
I
like
prefer
blondes.
brunettes.
No? You never thought Princess Di was pretty?
I think she was a beautiful woman, but I never fancied her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's
So she was.
Damn,
Yeah.
brunettes are best.
Right. So
She looked like the classiest. She looked like the classiest mother that your friend next door could possibly have.
yeah.
She had class. I think.
Yeah.
From our side of the ocean, she had class.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Oh,
the
there
royal
it is.
family weird though.
Yeah,
I remember
they
this-
are. It's basically it's all tradition. The tradition. It's the same as you look at even things like Father will agree. The church, the traditions. People looking from outside think, why are they doing that? That is just so weird because it's a traditional thing, and it's the same in the royal family. There's so many traditions steeped there that people just see it and they just
here
think,
it is.
oh,
What's this?
Here's the one that I was looking for.
Good art.
Oh, I was just reading. I was reading that.
Yeah, I've seen several of these
Hey,
over the
I was
years. They're
reading
really good. Beautifully drawn. Well, the glass
I wonder how much they got paid to draw those. Because these
Not
are
very
obviously
much.
No.
No.
Well, a lot of those cartoons, a lot of those comic strips, you would find, at least in the 80s and 90s, you'd start to find collected editions of them in the bookstores.
Oh, yeah.
And they would sell books and books and books. Like I used to buy my dad Far Side for every birthday and Christmas. He'd get a big Far Side book because those cartoons were the best.
When we were young, the
Let's
school
talk
used to
about
make
girls
us
again.
line up with the Queen was coming by or something like that. The Jubilee, I remember. Did,
Yeah.
did they do it with you, PJ, as well?
Yeah, well, she never could buy, but yes, we got the mugs and all that, and we basically had to all stand and cheer at the time when
Yeah.
it was. But
They
I
gave
had
us
the mug for
flags.
years. Yes, I had
gave
the
us
I had the
flags.
mug.
Chris has got
But
one
the-
there. Yes.
Yeah. There he is. Good to see
I'm
you.
going to hide behind your logo.
Hail, Father Miller.
Yes. Hey, I can't help the logo thing. I don't know how that
Is this
works.
another Brit? Because it's getting kind of British in here.
No.
I'm from Northern Ireland.
Oh, my apologies.
Ireland,
Sorry, sir.
Scotland, London, Birmingham, and I don't know where Darius is from.
Well, I encourage people to think I'm from Germany, but I'm actually from Detroit.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
okay.
way too American accent to be anywhere
Oh.
else.
Yeah,
Midwesterner. We recognize our
It's
own.
perfect for it.
Yeah. I drink pop.
So,
whereas we drink up here, we drink ginger.
You drink you drink what is it? Iron brew. Iron brew. There you go, iron brew.
that looks like a urine sample from your doctor's
It
office.
does. It does.
Yeah, in Michigan, we just drink
I've
Burners.
got 10 packets of 6 bottles that size sitting
6
in the back of
bottles?
my room. 10
It
packets
sounds like
of
he
6.
said that.
An iron brew. You kill
I
yourself,
agree.
man.
Sound like you said sex bottles.
Sex bottles.
That's because you guys have an accent and I don't. Listen.
He's absolutely right.
Oh God.
People in
Sex
the chat, what did PJ say? Was it 6 bottles or sex bottles? I say sex.
What was a European
Sex
vacation
balls.
word, Chevy Chase?
Sex
bottles,
balls.
big
Now
man.
from the Celtic Fringe, and they said sex bottles.
Exactly.
Germans say it.
Another thing, PJ.
I know they just
Pour
don't know
that-
what they're talking about.
Pour that drink into a white ceramic cup and let it sink. And what do you see to the stain it leaves? You
Oh, I know
think
what
that's
it's saying at least.
what
What do you think?
down your
What do you think
esophagus
I
into
cleaned
your
my
stomach?
grandfather's? What do you think I cleaned my grandfather's medals with?
All of a
I
sudden, I
know
want
what
a
it does.
discharge real bad.
You see, Iron Brew in Scotland is just like, I guess, a Twinkie in America.
It's
that's
basically called the other national drink.
Mm.
That was the advert. Bars Iron Brew, this other national drink. Because
Iron Brew and
everybody-
Tennant's Lager.
Yes, well, Tenants,
Yeah.
I can't do that,
Buckfast.
but no, I don't. I'm not a Buckfast man. Never have been. Don't like it. Don't see the point in it. Fortified wine, no, thank you. If I want something fortified, I'll put Coke in my Jack Daniels.
So I'm just
Straight
bringing.
sulfur around Stirling, apparently.
Yeah, well, I know my
So
nephews
gotta-
think it.
Gotta ask if there's been any news on Doctor Who. I just saw Yellow Flash dropped a video.
Oh, I should tell
Yeah.
PJ, I've been watching Doctor Who. I'm into season 2.5. Loving it.
2.5
wait-
of the
Ah,
season
the golden
or
years.
series.
Oh, that's right. You guys got that weird thing. I'm through the Eccleston episodes.
Well,
and
so
I'm about-
basically, you're on the new stuff. So that's seasons, not series.
well, it's not readily. The old stuff isn't readily available. I'd have to go make purchases.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
BritBox.
Streaming link. You can stream it.
BritBox. Yeah, BritBox, like $6 a month.
Britbox, I guess.
I won't
Okay,
remember that.
talking
Yeah, it's all
Brit-
good stuff. It's
Is that
absolute-
Brit or Brick?
Brit.
There are no wrong ways to discover
Well, let's
Doctor
see,
Who.
it's
I don't
British.
think.
Bravo, Romeo,
Brit.
Indigo, Tango.
Britbox.
Yeah, I've been watching classic Doctor Who on Pluto TV.
Good man.
Ah,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you can do that too.
Pluto TV.
Yeah.
yeah, just
I
don't
do
watch the
commercials.
Jodie stuff. Don't watch
Yeah?
the Jodie stuff. It's absolutely awful.
See, I don't watch any of the new stuff.
New stuff's just rubbish.
I'm enjoying the newer stuff.
850 episodes of mostly really good stuff. Yeah, okay, there's some missing episodes. There's,
Yeah.
sadly, but at least they exist in audio form still, so you can experience everything one way or another.
Yeah, they actually
So
released
jealous
some
of
of them in
anybody who doesn't.
Snapshot. So they do.
Yeah, there's several ways you can experience them, but I'm jealous of anybody who's still got classic or new Who to discover for the first time. Justin,
Yeah.
you can have a
I
time of your life with
definitely-
that.
Well,
Classic.
I'd see an episode rarely if I was awake enough because for some reason where I lived, we only had 4 channels and public service, PBS, public
Yeah, it's
broadcasting.
Friday night.
Yeah, and like I was always busy doing something, whether it was falling asleep or because it was always on late. But I'd catch an
I had no
episode.
life. I watched it.
Yeah, and it was different for me. And I had a buddy who really wanted me to get into it because he's a straight up Whovian. We almost painted his front door to look like a TARDIS
Who was
one
that?
time.
Yeah.
Scott Reed. You don't think you'd know him? He was a college. He's my best friend from college.
Yeah.
And,
Okay. I was gonna say
yeah.
nobody from Scotland, nobody from high school watched it but me. I
No,
think.
Right.
no, I don't think so.
Do you know how bad it is with me? I catalogue everything, Father. I've just shared my catalogue.
Of Doctor Who. Oh, hello.
Ooh.
Mm.
Look at that. Who
That's
the
a
hell
lot.
did that?
That's a lot of free time, right
That's
there.
me. I'm basically my OCD can't help myself, but that's basically it. So they see the ones in red. That's ones that you'll never see again. They're
Yeah.
just no longer available.
What happened to him?
And basically, the BBC deleted them.
So nobody has a hard copy on a VHS or something
No.
saved away
Nope.
somewhere?
Well,
No,
this is
they
like
del-
60s, early 60s.
That 60s they did it. They basically recorded over the VHS they had. It was
Yeah.
all done on tape, and they reused the tapes.
So,
So
what
those
would
ones they're making them into animation. So they are. There is a couple episodes here and there, but they're basically just going to make it. I think the Fury from the Deep's the most recent one that they actually did
You'd think there'd be
into an
someone
animation.
out there, some crazy man out there who has like everything saved, who's probably maybe got the films from like an old TV station. Who's probably got.
Well,
it.
basically, they have
quite a
been
long
finding it.
story.
Yeah, basically there's been a guy traveling the world and finding bits here and there, and even he's actually turned off Doctor Who now because they told him he wasn't a true fan because he didn't like the current series. He travelled the world and found all the lost parts, but he's not a true fan.
You know, I think a true fan is someone who can be critical of the new stuff because they like the old stuff so much. That to me is a true fan. If you can openly say, "I hate the new Star Wars films," why? Because I like the old stuff better. Well, you're not a true fan. Excuse me.
Exactly. That's why I basically I do it. I even actually get all the stuff, the classic stuff like Demon Rising and stuff like that. It's just ass offshoot from it. I've even got a load of videos sitting there. Unfortunately, I've got a load of videos sitting there as well. Than that, so I do like my classic stuff.
I watched Back to the Future on VHS a couple of days ago. So I still got a VHS machine. I still got my copy. And you know what? The picture is really awful. I didn't realize how awful the picture was, but it is. The quality of VHS is terrible.
It is. You're not kidding.
Oh, you know what? That is actually emphatic to talk about because I remember watching TV going, "Oh, this is great," and then you watch something from back when you were a kid, and we are spoiled. Our children are spoiled on the quality of like. I turned on a video game the other day. I was able to stand 12 inches from a 65-inch TV and see everything perfectly. If you did that when you were a kid, all you'd see is red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue. You know. It's amazing. It's amazing how far the technology come. In fact, it's come too far because if you watch something like Empire Strikes Back, sorry, I'm going back to my favorite movie. When they're in the cockpits of the snowspeeders, you look at the straps. You know what they've got on their straps? They got pieces of bubble wrap taped onto the straps. Like they said, let's make this look futuristic. You know, shove vacuum cleaner hoses. Now that all these old shows are getting that 4K high def treatment,
you see it.
You start to see the myth behind the magic, and it's like, oh, they just they duct taped this piece here and they put that there and. Yeah, it kind of ruins it a little bit.
It does. As I said, I just out of curiosity, I linked my VHS to my TV monitor, and I played it. First of all, it was in 4:3. Second of all, it just looked awful. It really did. I mean, the quality. I can't believe we used to watch films like that. You know, it's just awful. Yeah,
we were talking about. Remember that tape is over 40 years old.
Yeah, magnetic.
I know that, but still,
let's not hold the picture. But we were talking about our first superhero movies, and I remember going up the street in the development. We lived out in the country in like a 40-house development, and one of our neighbors, who was the quote rich neighbor, was the first one to get a VHS player. And I remember everybody in the development who knew him real well, we'd walk up to his house, he'd have a big potluck, and we watched the first VHS tape that he bought was, I think, Rambo First Blood. First Blood. And that was our first home video experience with watching the movie that wasn't being aired on the networks, on VHS. And then, man, it was just Katie bar the door. After that, everybody got a player. My dad was dubbing movies before they actually put copyrights. Copyrights, and I've seen some of the most. If you guys want to look up obscure sci-fi, look up YOR. If you can find the trailer for that on YouTube, which I think it's available, that's the kind of crazy sci-fi stuff that made it into my home.
You want no crazy sci-fi? A BBC one, Tales from Beyond.
Okay,
I think I remember that.
That sounds pretty
basically
simple.
I've got the link, and I've done a review of it on my channel. It's basically black and white, and it is so classic. It is just so much fun. And some of the actors in it, you're sitting there thinking, I recognise him, but this is just their early stuff. Hannah Gordon was in it, stuff like that. You see, she's basically an alien, and you can tell she's an alien because there's no gap in her tooth. That is it, because they put a prosthetic across their gums to make them look alien.
I don't know, but you know what, right? Friday nights used to be film night for us as a family. So we used to go Blockbuster Video or wake up really early on Friday morning because that's when the releases used to come out. I remember we wanted to get Rocky 3 and it came out the Friday. So we got up really early, 8 o'clock, queued up. The Blockbuster opened at 9. We're straight in there. Ask the person where's Rocky 3. Run down to the yard. Rocky 3. Yeah, and then get it out, and then we'd buy the popcorn and stuff like that. Now my family's huge.
Oh, you found it.
7 people. And it was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing.
But that was the thing. My dad would take us down every night, and we would pick 2 videos to take home every night. And that's all we did as a family. Just sat in front watching these movies. It was called Out of the Unknown. That's what it was, not Tales from the Unknown. Out of the Unknown, BBC.
This doesn't look like
This
it.
looks like something that should
This is
be
it.
on
This is yours. Yeah.
Theater.
That's
Had a great opening, like jock rock song at the beginning of it too, almost like a Flash Gordon-esque anthems type song. But it was just one of those. I mean, I must have watched every cheap sci-fi adventure movie. I mean, when Star Wars came out, thousands of people were trying to duplicate the magic by making their own sci-fi. And then when Conan the Barbarian with Schwarzenegger came out, everybody was trying to duplicate that magic by making their own.
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster was great.
Yeah, it's the
Manimal,
anniversary of
like
Beastmaster today.
Yeah.
I was just reading. It's 1982.
Who was
So
the
not
beautiful
quite
girl
before.
in that?
Tanya Roberts.
Tanya
that
Roberts.
was-
Tanya Roberts. Yep, man. Oof, I was infatuated with her for a while.
Yeah, Beastmaster, and I can't. There was loads of them. There was a huge string of them, weren't they? When Conan came out, all
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
cheap ones. They were really. I mean, I remember watching Battle Beyond the Stars. I remember.
loved
I don't
that
think
as
that
well.
was too bad. I
The,
didn't think
the
that was too bad.
Magnificent Seven in space.
Yeah, Battle Beyond.
There
the
were a
Stars.
lot of sci-fi movies that came out. I think James Cameron was actually attached to one of them, where not only did they use the same models, but two separate movies would have the exact same spaceship battle scene.
James Cameron did the special effects on Battle Beyond the Stars.
Beyond the Stars.
Yeah.
I have,
Yeah.
because
That
they
must have
used
been because
that-
there was another movie that used the same exact
Yes.
footage.
Yes.
Yeah,
Where it was like a big brown gold ship with like a big bottom and a
Yeah.
hammerhead looking top. Yeah.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
find all these on Amazon, by the way, which is brilliant because it's fun to go back and look at all these. I see like one old movie, like, oh, I remember watching that, and then it's got like 12 other movies underneath it. I'm like, I can't believe they still exist. They were so bad.
Star
Yes.
Crash was the worst one, though. Star Crash was
Ice
the worst.
Pirates.
Star Wars.
Ice Pirates was the best. Don't
I
even come
love
down
Ice Pirates. I've
Dude,
got a
Robert
copy of
Urich,
Ice
Angelica
Pirates.
Houston,
Yes.
Boutakis,
Cosby.
or Ron
Cos-
Perlman. Ron Perlman
Yes,
was in that
yes,
movie.
is in it. And Cosby, Cosby's daughter was it? Crosby's daughter.
Mm.
Oh man, that was a great movie.
I loved it. I still love it. And even the guy who made all the robots black, and the guy's, why are you making them black? He says, I wanted them to be perfect.
Perfect.
And yes,
And
I
I
want.
like we have like the pimp robot in the street. Yo, man, you want to ride my bad chariot? This is like this big robot turning and lifting arms up.
Yeah, and the white robot, he got run over by the car. Mommy, mommy.
Where is it? Where is it? Okay, so in that movie, there was a side story about a space herpy that they discover in a locker. And they made these toys. Disney made these like stuffed animal toys called Tsum Tsums, TSUMs, and they're little stuffed animals. I don't know where he is, but I bought the Jabba the Hutt one when I saw it because I immediately it looks exactly like the space herpy, and I'm gonna go find it. I'll be right back.
See, when I saw that, all I thought was aliens. Not aliens. It was the one. What was the one that took the mick out of it? Was it Spaceballs? When it was
Spaceballs.
dancing, the alien was dancing down the bar. That's what it reminded me of.
And there was also Kroll. Do you remember Kroll?
Oh, Krill. Todd
Yeah.
Carey, who played Tucker Jenkins, was in
Yeah.
that. And you also had the guy who played a Cyberman, Bernard Bresler.
Yeah.
He was in it. He played the Cyclops.
There was a
I
lot
love
of films that came out because of Star Wars.
I can't
There was
find it.
loads.
I can't find it. I'm so
Absolutely
sorry.
loads.
I was saying that the one thing I remembered that is it reminded me of the alien from Spaceballs.
It did, yeah. Oh, Battlestar Galactica.
But that the classic Battlestar Galactica with a lawn green, that is just superb.
Look at those computers.
Yeah.
This is not Battlestar.
What is this?
about
Space Mutiny.
Space Mutiny. Holy cow.
It was
That
on
is crazy.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, was it? Look at those costumes, man.
Yeah, so bad.
Great stuff.
Yeah, I dropped
There
something
we
to
go.
search in the private chat. You can see exactly what I'm talking about, Chris, if you find that picture.
But it was also what was that one? God, there was loads of films that came out that year because of Star Wars,
Whoa,
wasn't it?
yeah,
But
booty.
loads and loads. They
Battlestar
all
was
tried to,
complete.
yeah.
You know, and it's something funny. Star Wars really was because before we
Got
had
it,
Star Wars,
one of
the big
those.
talking point was the all the tragedy films. You know, it was nothing but films
Yes.
about horrible things. And then there was this film that came out, and George Lucas talked about how he wanted to bring hope back to the theater and the movies. And I find it funny because I was talking about this with a friend today that seems like that's what's missing from Star Wars right now is none of the stories talk about Hope.
Hope.
It's
Yeah.
like it's all the bad stuff, like all the down. And then we had the Mandalorian, of course, where we got Luke Skywalker. Then that was like the first time in the Star Wars in the last few years we've seen anything that had any glimmer of hope.
Yeah,
put
it's
into
true.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for
Kinda
Rogue
ironic, isn't
One,
it?
which I still tear up when Leia turns around and says "Hope." I can't. I got all misty-eyed.
I would
God, the
strongly
costumes are
argue-
awful. The costumes are awful. in this.
I would strongly argue that the remake of Battlestar Galactica is way better than anything Disney has done with Star Wars.
Oh yes, you're absolutely right there.
Never watched the new Battlestar Galactica.
And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed like Rogue One's a messy movie. It has
Okay.
the whole Disney problem with the script being a mess.
Click on the images.
There are
Click on the
some
images.
great
Is
places.
this what you're
some
talking
great bits in
about?
it.
See,
Click
that,
the images. Get the images just of the job.
Yeah.
Click on the image.
Images.
No, like at the top of your bar, the
top of
images.
your bar, there's one that says images, third tab.
There you go. Doesn't that look just like a space herpy from the movie?
It does.
I saw that. I was the only one in the store that would have bought a whole bunch. I was like, "This is a space herpy. This isn't Jabba the Hutt."
Yep. I loved Ice Pirate. I think Ice Pirates is definitely one of the best it's out there because it was just, it didn't take itself seriously. It took it as fun and it was just amazing.
Well, there's a time for everything, isn't there? Sometimes you want to see those kinds of films. Sometimes you want to see something really po-faced. Sometimes you fancy something in the middle. I liked Ice Pirates too. Krull was a big favourite of mine that you mentioned earlier. I love that movie, and it's just a Star Wars knockoff, like 101 other things at the time. But that's part of the fun.
Yeah,
it is.
And even Justin was saying about how
they know what it is. We know what it is. There's no pretenses about any of the stuff.
Do you remember
but it's
Hawk?
made with swagger.
Yes.
Hawk.
Yeah,
Do you
Hawk
remember
the
that
Slayer.
one?
Yeah,
Hawk the Slayer. That was quite
great
fun.
movie.
Yeah, and Black Hole. I like the Black Hole.
I love Black Hole.
I remember going to see that in the cinema.
I remember that I was shocked at it. It was a Disney one where the
The big
robot
scary
started
robots.
spinning and actually going right through
I got a Bob up there
the
too.
paper in the book. And I'm
Yeah.
sitting there thinking, this is Disney, and they're killing somebody like that. I thought, super.
You notice there's no blood in that scene though. He chops him
I
up
know.
into little stomach bits, and there's no blood. But
Blood, I know.
that was traumatic to
It's
have
the-
him
it
do
was
that.
the paper flying all over the place. You knew what was happening.
Okay,
to
we
him.
got a title card. So 5:30 Central, so about 35 minutes from now. So
And also
technically
this-
about an hour.
Do you remember Last
Dollar.
Starfighter? That
Yes,
was the
It's
very
almost
first.
11 o'clock here in the UK.
That was the
It
very
is,
first
yeah, 5 to 11.
film that had digital effects. Last
Yes.
Starfighter.
And
was
basically, that was one. That's what they were saying. They were saying that actually led the way because they tried to do a lot more, but it was down to budget. They could.
But also,
yeah,
did you know that the guy who played the main character in Halloween
Logan.
directed it? Yeah, he directed it.
He directed the movie. I didn't know
He
that.
directed a movie. Yeah, apparently so. Yeah.
Wow,
so-
he was
I
pretty
love
good.
it.
I gotta say this. I have not seen this yet, but it looks good.
Celebrate season 5 of Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Oh, that show's insane. I love it.
Suicide. Well, that's kind of our thing. And to celebrate the Suicide Squad coming to theaters and HBO Max, we made some of them into avatars. Head to GoRickYourself.com now for tons of options to make yourself or make yourself someone else. And watch the Suicide Squad in theaters and HBO Max on August 6th.
Suicide
Okay.
Squad.
I did enjoy
Nice.
Suicide Squad.
It was all right.
It
wasn't
had good
great.
points. It had slow points, but there were moments that were I think it was worth watching. We got it for free because we have HBO Max, so my kids watched it. They thought it was hilarious. I still think the best part was when Harley gets the javelin from the dead javelin guy, and then she's like doing that whole moment, and then she just slaps him. It's like, what? Who am I supposed to give it? Just like total New York accent.
Right.
It was-
I like
it
that
was
the movie
all right.
had
Harley
setups and
Quinn is one of
payoffs.
my least favorite characters.
I know you hate her.
do
I know
not
you
like
hate her.
It was very violent, though. It was very violent, don't you think, guys?
No, that was the premise.
It's no more than Deadpool.
Oh,
Yeah,
Deadpool was funny violence.
It was comically violent as opposed to like a slasher film.
Yes.
Because so I had seen the movie once, and then my daughters, the two daughters who I have 3 daughters, and the two that like the little cutesy plush stuffed animals. It was the scene, if you hadn't seen it yet, there's a scene where King Shark finds a giant aquarium in the headquarters of the bad guys, and there's these little cute little things with eyes and they're colorful and they're floating around. They look like the best pets in the world. And I'm looking at my daughter's boyfriend who was there, and we're just smiling because we know what's coming. And my daughters think it's the cutest thing in the world. And then if they try to eat the king shark once the aquarium breaks and there's blood everywhere. And my daughter's mortified. It was great. Anytime my kids are mortified, I love it.
Yeah. See, I like a slasher movie. I like watching a good old-fashioned slasher movie, Evil Dead, things like that. The Bruce Campbell stuff is my favourite. But
yes, but I'm not big on the Freddy ones. The ones that are overly bloody gore,
yes.
or
see, I like that's why I like the ones like the Evil Dead, because they're humorous, slashy, they're over the top, campy, flashy, slashy, and I like that. But I don't like my comic books to be like that.
No, I agree.
And that's the thing.
There's a lot of that going on too. Where
Cabin
I was
in the Woods is an
today.
interesting movie. It deconstructs the. No, I was saying the Cabin in the Woods is an interesting movie.
Yes, I've seen
the trope of the horror
I've
movie.
got a copy of it. I picked up a copy of Cabin in the Woods a couple of weeks ago, so I'm watching it again in a couple of weeks.
Have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Oh, I love Tucker and Dale.
Okay, yeah, that was
it's just so much fun. It's the fact is these hillbillies are killing us, and they're killing themselves, and everybody just assumes it's the two of them. Sneaking up behind them, he dive on him as he bends down to pick up a bit of wood and dives into a wood chipper.
The wood chipper.
It's just hilarious.
For Friday Night Takes.
I've got the link for it as well, and it's saying 30 minutes away, or 30 minutes. It's still saying 30 minutes away before it's on.
Oh, forget that. We're having enough fun here. We don't need that.
Yeah.
No, we can talk about the Fowler. What's he looking at? Over 2 hours now? I reckon we can get him to 3 hours.
Yeah. I think so. Probably. It's Gary.
I have to say, Padre, whenever I have you on the screen.
Yeah.
Whenever you were driving back without your collar, and you were in the car and you hadn't shaved for a bit, you looked very mean. I have to say, you looked like some sort of enforcer or something. I wouldn't have messed with you.
No, I just did
don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry.
Well, figuring that
he did just come out of Las Vegas.
Exactly.
He's probably on fire.
Hey, I have a certain set of skills.
That's Father Liam Neeson.
So,
yeah. No, you actually look very tough. You put the collar on and you sort of look, priestly, which is proper order because you are a priest. Whenever you the collar off, you were unshaved and you were driving, it was like,
well, I wasn't.
I wouldn't mess with that, man.
In my collar. I just went in shorts and mainly because it was over 100 degrees.
No, I couldn't cope with that. Now from Northern Ireland, we don't do that.
To be able to go to something like that, I figured I shouldn't go in my clerics.
Excuse me, folks. You speak your thought. No worries, brother.
Good call.
I'm so glad you got to go to that. Dude.
Oh, it's
I'm
amazing.
very glad that event happened. Even though I couldn't go, I'm very glad that it happened.
Same here.
Yeah, the only
anytime
thing
you can gather right now is a good time.
Well, the only downside, and I know Ian and I were talking about it, next year is going to be crazier. Yes. Which, again, is good, but that means we're going to have less time to hang out with Gary.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, fella, or Padre, as I like to say, Padre, you're going to be glad you were there for the first year because you were one of the, players. You were there for the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, Father, you were there for the first year.
I was here for the first one. Roll me shoulders.
Yes. We'll need to get them graded.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad too. It was definitely worth it.
Yeah, because you were there for the first one, we'll need to get you graded. So we'll need to get one of those wee plastic boxes.
I have the poster hanging up on my wall now.
Yeah, no, I was jealous. I must admit, I definitely would have loved to have gone, but couldn't get my bike that far.
I have a feeling.
There were a few of us.
I have a feeling.
Still watching at the.
Don't talk all at once.
Well, no, I was just saying. Brad is still watching.
No, I
got
have a feeling, but if we play our cards right.
And Chris, go.
Hold on,
And
let me
as
do
I
this.
was saying, I have a feeling if we play our cards right,
Okay, so I'm gonna do that. So that works. I did mute him.
Oh, dear.
No, I got together with like Brightest Day and a few other people during the night. We got together at a brew pub, and that was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're unmuted.
Were you saying, Derek? Derek,
Don't worry
what were
about it
you
now.
saying? Oh, dear.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
if we play our cards right, there's a huge following for Gary and the rest of the gang in the UK. I reckon we could arrange for Gary to come over to a central location in the UK to meet us without too much trouble. I mean, if you think about
Yeah,
it,
right.
we've the Critical
That's
Drinker,
in the
we've
plan.
Az, we've Muller, and all meet up.
We've got
Happy
Critical
days.
Drinker.
Then we'll go to the pub.
Mm.
Yep.
The Critical Drinker, go
It is
away
in the
now.
plans.
Yeah, send him a ticket. I'm sure he won't say no.
Yeah.
Send him a pint.
Send him a point. Ticket and a point.
Not Gary. Don't send Gary a pint.
No, we're
No.
talking about,
The only thing is, I'm
Critical
not
Drinker.
drinking
We're
twice.
talking
He's
about the
recovering
Scots.
now.
We're talking about the Scots here, Father. Talking about the Scots.
Yeah. Well, you have to decide whether it be Scotland or
Yes.
England. You have to decide.
Whichever one he doesn't have to wear a
No,
mask.
go for
at,
Scotland. Go for Glasgow or Edinburgh. Go for that. That
Even
SSCC
somewhere-
in Glasgow. Go for
Yeah.
that. That's easily accessible.
Yep. Plenty parking, and there is a bar in the place. So yeah.
Can you still travel easily and
For
freely
those,
between
there's a
England
bar.
and
At the
Scotland?
end of the day, for me in Northern
At the moment,
Ireland,
yes.
all I have to
Or
do
is it like the
drive down to
States where you need
harbour,
your
jump on a
papers
ship, drive over, jump in the coach. You're in Glasgow. Bang.
Yep.
But anybody that wants to come in from anywhere else, Glasgow's an international airport.
Yep.
Book your flight, fly in. Happy days.
And it's
No
it's
problem.
not expensive like
As I
some of
say,
these places.
well, the
like
drinker's
it
up
is.
Stirling direction. So many key can just jump in the car and drive down.
Yes. Half an hour for me.
What,
Easy
do they
peasy.
just give something away?
No, that's what I'm saying. Half an hour drive for me. Easy peasy. Yes,
should be
I'll
done.
back. See, a Scotland meet up next. That sounds perfect. No, that I'm biased. But I'm biased.
It's okay to be biased sometimes.
Exactly.
No, Jockland's
See-
good fun. I've never had a bad day in Jockland in my life.
That's
Yeah,
because
there
there's
was
people
that-
like me here. Not that
know
I'm,
we talk
not,
about
not that I'm narcissistic, self-conceited, or anything like that. But look. But yes, it would be great if we could get a UK meetup just to meet all the guys. Or well, Gary anyway.
No,
Naz.
just banging in Glasgow.
Yep.
There's a couple of guys I have on my streams and things who are
Yeah,
quite
it'll
experienced
suit.
in running,
The only
running
problem I
conventions
have
and things like that.
I have with Scotland was one time I was in the Navy.
Mm.
Oh, here, Dan. I'm going to go to Birmingham, Dan. So you can't jump in the train, Dan. We could go up to Glasgow.
No. There's all sorts of things I've been hearing about lately, which I won't talk about now, just in case it doesn't.
You didn't see me winking
It
there.
only depends. It depends what words you actually say. That's the
Right.
problem with
I
Scotland.
don't want to talk about things that I can't deliver.
Say,
on, but
please.
Yeah.
You never know.
Who knows? Who knows?
Speaking of
Fingers
which, guys, I've got to shake a leg
Don't
there.
get me wrong.
But
Well, I think I might start wrapping up because I
don't
want to
worry,
get
Dan. We
dinner.
all love you.
Yeah, I
Because
heard
I'm getting hungry, so
okay, no
well, I'll
worries.
catch up with you. So
Okay.
I'll see you tomorrow, Ian.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, no
I'll
worries.
catch the rest of you.
Catch you
around.
later.
Good to meet you, Darius
Sounds good.
and Justin. I don't think I've met you guys before. Forgive me if I forget who I've met and who I haven't. But I know I'm
That's
not
all
on
right.
screen this time, but I'm waving anyway. Trust me, I'm waving.
A pleasure.
Nice to meet you,
Cheers,
Spaceman.
guys, and
Okay.
thanks for the invitation.
Yeah.
I'll
yeah,
speak
yeah.
to you all later.
So,
Bye.
See you, Dan. Bye-bye.
Enjoy
like you
your
said, I think
burrito.
we're going to start
Well
wrapping
done.
up just because get a little bit of food in before the show starts. So,
Yes. Uh-huh.
thank you everybody for joining. Be sure to hit the ring bell so you can be notified when we go live again. And if you're not
You've
subbed,
been over 20,
please
over 2
click the
hours,
subscribe.
fella.
Yeah, we did over 2 hours. So, with
212.
that, I am